Democratic platform.
In Shelby Township, Michigan, Republican VP nominee J.D. Vance reiterating the Trump campaign's support for America's men and women in blue.
Rather than Kamala Harris, who wants to make it harder for them to do their job, who wants to defund them.
Vance also saying the contrast cannot be more clear between the two presidential tickets on safety, the economy, and illegal immigration.
But I promise you, in just 6 months, the cavalry is coming. You're going to have a federal government who makes your life easier, not harder.
J.D. Vance later hits the road to another battleground state of Wisconsin, where Vice President Kamala Harris and her new VP pick, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, are also holding campaign events today.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. The Harris campaign just announcing Team Harris-Walz raised $36 million in the first 24 hours since Tim Walz was announced as Harris's running mate. A warning to Iran from the White House as tensions rise between Iran and Israel after the killing of a Hamas leader inside Iran.
We don't want to see an escalation, as I said before. And if there is one, by goodness, we're going to be ready to defend Israel and defend ourselves.
White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby on a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Kirby says they're as close as they've ever been. A major flood threat remains for the Carolinas as the center of Tropical Storm Debby is over the Atlantic Ocean.
We expect the impacts to continue for several days. So please listen to local officials and follow evacuation orders if they are issued.
North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, forecasters say Debby could make a second landfall tonight or tomorrow. At least 6 people have died in the storm. America is listening to Fox News.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Our temperature's running a good 10 to 15 degrees cooler, and this is going to hang around for a while. Some clouds around this afternoon. Cooler and drier air, 82 for the high. Tonight, clear skies develop. 70s for evening plans, 64 for the low. On Thursday, sunny and 85. Friday, sunny 82. The weekend, sunny and 80 each day. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Help if you want to sell your home as is. Help doesn't matter the condition it's in. Help if you want a simple sale with no agency fees. Claiming groups got you covered, no contingency. House a mess, roof damage, bad taxes, that's all okay. Make sure you remember to call Claiming Real Estate.
Let us help you. ClaimingGroup.com. KLAMEN Group.com.
The pitch.
Do you dream about calling Cardinals games?
Goldschmidt swings and he hits.
If so, the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum is for you. Learn about play-by-play reporting, interviewing, and working with pro athletes from the best broadcasters in the business. John Rooney, Chip Carey, Rick Horton, Brad Thompson, and more. The Sportscasters Forum is Thursday, September 19th at Live by Lowe's. Tickets include 3 educational sessions, lunch, and a ticket to that evening's Cardinals game. For details, go to MissouriBroadcasters.org.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Triton Exteriors, specifically my friend Tim Nesbitt, who is the owner. He is from the customer service business, 20 years in the restaurant business, so the answer is yes. What's the question? Anything you need. Hospitality, personal service, we're upscale. We're a James Hardy company. Roofing and siding and gutters and great value. Tim just texted me and he beat the next closest bid by $15,000 just this week. You can call 314-717-1159 or triton-stl.com.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with NABJ. Visit NABJ.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Tim Walz's record is a joke. He's been one of the most far-left radicals in the entire United States government at any level. But I think that what Tim Walz's selection says is that Kamala Harris has bent the knee to the far left of her party, which is what she always does. Kamala Harris listened to the Hamas wing of the party. She selected Tim Walz, a guy who wants to ship more manufacturing jobs to China, who wants to give illegal aliens driver's license, and who wants to make the fentanyl crisis that we just heard about so much worse because he refuses to do his job and actually make it easier for American citizens and not illegal aliens to live a good life. So I think what it says is that Kamala Harris is running as a San Francisco liberal. She is governed as a San Francisco liberal, and she's chosen a running mate who will be a San Francisco-style liberal.
Guys, this should be so simple. This is so easy. When I listen to J.D. Vance talk, and yes, even when I listen to Donald Trump talk, I find myself going, why do people disagree with this? What is it that they're saying that they're like, no, we'll go the way of Tim Walz? What about what the Harris-Walz ticket has to offer makes you feel like that's definitely the way we want this country to head? Here's Tim Walz himself.
And now, as governor of the great state of Minnesota, I bring those experiences to bear in tackling the challenges that are facing our great state. Minnesota's strength comes from our values, our commitment to working together, to seeing past our differences, to always being willing to lend a helping hand. Those are the same values I learned on the family farm and tried to instill in my students. I took it to Congress and to the state capitol, and now Vice President Harris and I are running to take those very values to the White House.
All right, hot take here. Can people who don't live in flyover country stop referring to him as having a red state accent? I disapprove of that. Just because he sounds like this is what people keep saying. He's just a regular guy. He's just like one of those people who we're not really sure what they do because we just go coast to coast on the airplane. But people keep talking about his accent and the way he talks. He's so relatable and I don't know, simple. He says things like this that are insults to
You know it, you feel it. These guys are creepy, and yes, just weird as hell. That's what you see.
Yes, and just weird as hell. That's what we sound. That's what I sound like, I guess. It kind of actually sounds like Ryan Wiggins' impersonation of me, which I always hear as a trucker, and I love truckers, so I take it as a compliment. So Tim Walz, the governor of the state of Minnesota, the VP pick for Kamala Harris's ticket, an incredible doubling down on far leftist policies in action. Tim Walz is the one coming out and saying that you're weird. These guys are creepy and weird as hell. Do you support J.D. Vance? Do you support Donald Trump? Well, Tim Walz and Kamala Harris think that you're creepy as hell. What is it about you that they think is creepy as hell when this is something that Tim Walz said previously in Minnesota?
And what we want to say is we're there to protect children. We're there to have you understand that in Minnesota you're going to be protected. And I just want to be clear. I will never understand what goes into the thinking of these folks to bully these children. That is not impacting them in one bit and making it a living hell for children, for families, for adults, for folks who are just trying to bring themselves in. So in Minnesota, we're making it very clear we're not going to cooperate with these folks. We're not going to extradite people. We're going to say that this is a place where you can come to make these decisions. The community, the trans community is as terrified as they've ever been. We've seen attacks across the nation, even here in Minnesota, and we're now saying we have to be much more proactive. We have to be much more aggressive about making sure that folks are protected.
So when it comes to the transgender community, he is really wedging himself. This is very important to understand. It's not really as much about the transgender issue as the left would have you think. The transgender umbrella is how they get it to be I either love these people or hate these people, and there's nothing in between. That's how they make it so it's a snap judgment. As soon as they say the word, everybody has to run to their corners. And then if you run to one corner, they can point at you and call you a bigot. Which is ironic because at the end, they're bigoted in the way they think that we're weird and creepy as hell because we have traditional American values. They hate us. And they're very outspoken about it. Here's why I say it's important to understand how the transgender issue fits into all of this as a flashpoint as a means to an end. It's something that takes a conversation that should be long and complicated and yet important and prioritized, and it shrinks it down to a rash judgment that you have to make right away because they have instilled fear in you if you don't answer correctly, which reminds me, we're speaking with Tammy Bruce in about 13 minutes. And she's going to talk about a lot of this as well. The transgender issue is a prime way for the government to completely insert themselves between parents and children. When the government gets to come in and parent for parents and essentially possess these children to affect them in a way that distances parents from making decisions about how those children are to be raised, government can grow immensely under a population that's willing to accept that type of egregious behavior on an overbloated, overpowered federal government or state government or local government for that matter. If you think about it for a second, what you see in all of these different states that are willing to entertain this, and Minnesota is very much so one of them. The government oversees you and allows you to parent the way you want to parent until they deem you unfit or unworthy. And it's not because you're beating your child. It's because you have a set of morals and principles that you want to stand by, in this whole First Amendment country that we, for the moment, still live in. If your morals and principles don't align with that of the government, they will insert themselves in between you and your children. They do it in the same fashion with public education. Public education can be a very, very good thing, but we don't educate our children in a public sense for the betterment of the kids. We do it for the system. Because in public education, what you get is a group of unions, the NFT, is that right? Is it the NFT, National Federation of Teachers, and the NEA, the National Education Association, these two huge teachers unions. They don't even actually advocate on behalf of the teachers. They advocate on behalf of social issues. I mean, seriously, go look on their Facebook pages. They always post all these videos from their conventions that they have, it is a leftist political rally at these public teacher union conventions. They are talking about the most absurd, ridiculous, have nothing to do with the education of your child, about using their group and the power that that group holds to affect all of these massive social issues that don't do anything to educate your child. They're not there. The teachers' unions, they will never tell you that the focus of the teachers' union is really only about the children and their education. They are there to advocate on behalf of the teachers. But they're even using the teachers that are bullied into being members of their organizations because that money comes right out of their paycheck. People are scared to leave the unions. People are scared to not support them because they make you a pariah. They bully you if you leave it. But what does the teachers union do with all of that money that they take from the paychecks of hard-working men and women across this country who do have a passion, have a self-sacrificial life goal of helping kids through the school year so that they do learn the material, so that they can be successful in later in life, so that they can imprint on these kids the idea of success based on work, the ability to learn, the ability to be a part of kids' lives. It's an incredible thing to partake in. All of these teachers have money going in to fund the teachers' unions that are supposed to turn around and use that money to protect the educators so they don't get abused in the school districts that they're in, these publicly funded by you school districts that they're in. And then what do the teachers' unions do? They lobby to get people elected, like Tim Walz and Kamala Harris. And they use their gatherings together to make sure that all of their leftist ideology, woke progressive nonsense becomes the priority of the efforts that they are there to assemble for. And then they're in the classroom with your children when you're not there. And I guarantee you know people who have students in classrooms where those teachers, if they are told that a child, I don't want you to call me by my birth name, and the child is a girl, I want you to call me this boy name, they are not allowed to tell the parents at a parent-teacher conference that that has occurred. We are sticking government in between, wedging in between. This is at the epicenter of the success of the progressive left, is to tear the American family apart, is to rip from the seams the understanding that your family unit, that's a sacred entity. That the idea that you can raise your family in the Jewish tradition and I could live next door to you and live in the Lutheran Christian tradition, and the people next to us could live in the, we're morally good people, but we don't believe in any God tradition, and we can all coexist together, and no one of our households should have a overbearing influence on the other than friendly conversation, and no government can come in and tell us how to raise our children based on what they believe. The consolidation of power, what they can do when they pry our children away from us, what could they not do? If they can get to that, what can they not do? The transgender thing, in my opinion, is much more about pulling children away from their parents, about dividing families, about separating people who have a love for somebody who is struggling with something and wants to help them but has a principled counter-transgender mind about it, but would do anything, would give up their own life to protect that individual. Doesn't matter. You don't know what's right for your child. The government does. And they're ready to insert themselves into that position to make sure that everybody understands that, man, the worst thing that ever happened to this kid was their parents. But we were here to help them out. The collective we were here to help them out. I don't want Kamala Harris and Tim Walz to raise my children. I don't believe that they are principled. I don't believe that they have the same morals and ethics that I do. They certainly don't have the same faith that I do. How could they possibly know how I want my children to be raised? They have no right to do it. And they will use all of these different pieces of evidence. Abortion is the other part of the triad. The LGBTQ thing, and they're focusing through the lens of the transgender idea where they can insert themselves between parents and children. The education system, the public education system, and how they've turned it upside down so it doesn't have anything to do with educating children and abortion. Because you can go to the state of Illinois and get an abortion. Your parents don't even have to know. If you go the next day because you got a headache or you got some cramps from the system or from the process of getting that abortion the next day at school, you're going to have to get parental permission to take an ibuprofen at school. But not an abortion. Because the government knows better. Yesterday, we heard a lot of baloney sausage spewing off of the stage and out of the mouths of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz about how they love the American family. Boy, the more they say it, the more I know they don't mean it. And the more they're trying to say it enough so that the leftists in your life can come and be like, what are you talking about? The Democrats, they said it. They believe it. The Democrats are the pro-family ticket in this race. You can look them in the eye. They don't even believe what they're saying. They know that it's a lie. It's a deception. And, you know, in many cases, when the left is talking, they're lying. It would be the most destructive thing to happen to this country in my lifetime for this Kamala Harris, Tim Walz ticket to reach the Oval Office. And I hope we do everything we can to stop it. But don't believe their lies. Don't get in fights with people when you know that they're lying to your face. If they know they're lying, what are you going to convince them of? If they know that this Harris-Walz ticket is not the pro-family ticket, if you know the efforts that Walz has made in Minnesota to permanently change the bodies of children, the abortion rules and laws that we've seen come out of Minnesota. And look at the public education system across this country. They don't care about kids. They don't care about families. They just want to control them. And if they can get your kids, they can get anything. That's why we got to protect them. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, I can't wait to talk to Tammy Bruce about Tim Walz. She was lighting it on fire yesterday on Outnumbered. And I'm going to ask her also, like, what, Tim Walz? Really? That I vocalized alone in my bedroom when I saw that headline come through. I thought it was going to be Shapiro. Everybody was saying it was going to be Shapiro. Tammy Bruce will have something to say about it. She's got a book out right now, Fear Itself. I'm in the middle of reading it. I encourage you to get it. It's fantastic. Boils everything down in a really consumable way to understand what the left is trying to do. She's exposing the left's mind-killing agenda in that book and on the Annie Fry Show next.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Point Pest Control. You can find them online at pointpestcontrol.com. Point, spelled with an E on the end. They are your expert pest removal folks, and they've done it for me, and I encourage you to sign up like I did for the premium service plan where they come out quarterly, and they help you get through any sort of pest problem that you're having, which might be ants, spiders, which was mine. I mean, like, one spider is like a billion too many for me. But if you got crickets, if you've got mice, if you've got any of these types of pests that have invaded your house, they don't belong there, get rid of them with the very best. In Missouri and Illinois, they've got you covered. Point Pest Control at 636-798-0023. 636-798-0023. If you mention my name, you're going to save an extra 10% off of whatever discount that they have going on right now. So don't forget to drop the Annie Fry in there. 636-798-0023, online at pointpestcontrol.com.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
If you have an IRS problem, getting accurate legal advice could help get this all behind you right now. Hi, I'm local attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. The IRS made new changes that make it easier to settle your IRS debt for a reduced amount. Not all our clients qualify, but under the IRS's new Fresh Start program, you may be able to resolve your IRS problems quickly and for less money. But don't wait. An IRS problem is a legal problem. You need someone who understands both the IRS and the law. Don't trust your tax problems to some TV personality. The Drury Law Firm has handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years, and your first visit is completely free and confidential. And I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So if you're facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120, or go to LanceDruryLaw.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney. You need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I'm embarrassed to say this. I've been using deodorant on my armpits for 30 years, and anytime I noticed odor anywhere else, I thought I needed another shower, I wasn't clean, or I felt like there was something wrong with me. And then my gynecologist told me about Lumi. It's a whole body deodorant for pits, feet, and privates that controls odor anywhere and everywhere on your body. Since Lumi, I never have to worry about body odor ever again, anywhere on my body. And that reassurance is worth every penny.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code SHOWER and get 15% off your first purchase with code SHOWER, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME deodorant.com, code SHOWER for 15% off your first purchase. With over 200,000 five-star reviews, I am so sure you're going to love it. Or return it for free with Lumi's 60-day money-back guarantee. That's LUME deodorant.com, code SHOWER to save 15% today.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. Tune into the Annie Fry Show live stream.
Social media is this great equalizer. Fox News is a great equalizer. The Annie Fry Show is a great equalizer.
Just type in Annie Fry Show live stream. St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. We are grateful for you. A day after the Missouri primary, and everybody put your hand up in the air and wave. Say, bye, Cori Bush. See you later. Go find something else to do. Apparently, she's going to tear down Apex Kingdom. She said that. We'll get to that a little bit later. But Cori Bush sent packing among a lot of other good results from the Missouri primary. We'll get to that in a little bit. I want to bring my friend Tammy Bruce back on the show. Of course, author of a great book, Fear Itself, Exposing the Left's Mind-Killing Agenda. She's a Fox News contributor. Tammy, welcome back to the show. A lot of news has happened since we last talked.
Yes. The world is turning, and every day it seems like it's a new roller coaster ride.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz selected by Kamala Harris. Man, everybody was thinking it was going to be the governor of Pennsylvania, Shapiro, and I vocalized. It was myself and my Australian Shepherd dog Rosie sitting on the bed when I got that Fox News alert that it was Walz, and I out loud was going, "What?" Like that really caught me off guard.
Yeah, so Kamala is the woman who was no one's choice, and Walz, I contend, is a second choice. Obviously, Look, we saw Shapiro do some things that were just really debasing himself with walking back his support when he was a young man in college for Israel, talking about his IDF service. And that's when I thought, well, he is their choice, and they're asking him to do things to appease the Hamas wing of the party. And I thought it's amazing that he would even be willing to do that. And then, if that's who this guy is, look, people say we find out about ourselves when there's a crisis.
Mm-hmm.
I contend we find out more about ourselves when we're in the catbird seat and we can something's out there that we want. And I think Shapiro found out about himself, something he did not like. I also think that they asked more of him, probably to condemn Israel or something where finally he stopped and thought. And then also they finally really met and sat down. And I think that I believe he was the first choice. And he understood finally that this was the Titanic, that this is not where you wanted to go. She's lost like 92% of her staff because of her behavior. And if you have a promising political future, which Shapiro believes he does, then you're going to be very careful about the choices you make.
Mm-hmm.
And I think and then later he did issue a statement saying, we've thought about it, and I really don't want to not be governor.
Yeah, I'm sure.
This was before the Walz announcement. And so it makes sense because, of course, Walz makes no sense. I mean, she said they're trying to distance herself from her progressive leftist garbage. And then she picks her mirror image.
Right.
With the exception of, him being an old white male. She picks him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, this is a guy that it's still kind of a Hail Mary moment for the Democrats, but it also means Americans have a perfect choice. They can genuinely reject without any concern the garbage that we have been put through for the last freaking decade by the Democratic Party, especially what happened with Floyd and the burning of cities and the tampons in bathrooms and allowing agents of the state and schools to take over your kid's life without telling you. That is Tim Walz. So there is a clear choice. And Trump is excited, I'm excited, and all of us should be excited.
Yeah, I completely agree. It was actually, I felt like a physical exhale when I saw that she had picked Walz. Granted, it makes the stakes a little bit higher should they win. I feel like there's no effort. Joe Biden even lied. He lied to us the whole time saying, I'm going to unite people. I know how to get things done, blah, 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 blah. He made us more divided. This, to me, to Kamala, like the Kamala pick looks like, I'm not even going to try to unite anybody. We're going to do this our way. And if we're able to get elected, hold on tight because the far left progressive agenda is headed your way.
Yeah, Mark Levin, I just retweeted kind of a longish tweet from him about exactly what's happening. And what you're seeing is they have clearly, I think, acknowledged they can't persuade the American people, but they can't convince us. So what you're seeing is this full-bore Soviet-style gaslighting and propaganda campaign with the media, with the exception of certain talk radio like you, Fox News, et cetera, and social media, making it clear what the situation is. But if you're there, they have such contempt for their own base even, but for Americans in general. They think if they're going to, have a rally introducing each other, not even mentioning the border and the economy and inflation, that you're just going to go for rappers who are twerking and jokes from, a guy who's now being this extremist, as Walz is an extremist, as some kind of folksy, middle-of-the-road grandpa. All of it is a lie. From, like you noted, the Biden situation from the beginning was a lie. She's participated in the cover-up. We are now heading toward major war. I don't think China's going to leave Taiwan alone. So people's families, loved ones who are in the military are now at extreme risk. If you went in there for an education and to see the world, what you're going to see are burning oil fields in the Middle East instead. It is. These people know what they're doing. This is what's so obscene. Some people think, oh, well, they mean well. We can't even say that now. It's like nobody means well. What they mean is to get power and money, and all of us are just like little board game pieces. We're not even human beings to them.
Right.
And so it's a joke. It's a joke to them. But we've seen the last 4 years, Americans are not dumb. Some people are very busy and not as politically involved as, of course, perhaps your audience or some of us. But the fact is they know what their daily life is, and it's awful. And Trump's got a new commercial up using Reagan's speech about, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? It's very powerful. So, at least we know the Republicans, through Trump, have their act together more than they ever have, and that we have a chance, if we understand that it is hard to accept this, but that it's possible those two extremists could win. If we just kind of think, oh, the American people wouldn't let that happen. Well, look at what we've had for the last 4 years.
Yeah. You got to double your efforts and triple your efforts. I suppose if we go to war, we could just do what Tim Walz does and just opt out of our military service and go run for office instead. We're speaking with Tammy Bruce.
Say never mind and then just abandon them.
Yeah. You get to be in the military to get the benefits of the military and the title, and then you go use that title that you decided to step away from when your unit gets deployed to Iraq. It is unbelievable to see this guy Tim Walz. As a Midwesterner myself, St. Louis is about as middle of the country as you get. I'm really getting sick and tired of having to own him as like a Midwestern kind of guy, because the people I know are very hardworking, blue collar, white collar, both types of people around here in St. Louis that are trying to make ends meet right now, and people who have been able to afford their lifestyle have pulled back on things in their lifestyle and still can't manage to make ends meet the way they used to before. How much do you think the economy still is an overarching issue for people when it comes to filling out their ballot in November?
Well, it's nothing's. If anything changes, things will be getting worse. We saw that scare with the stock market, that has recovered slightly, but that was just it's like you're in Pompeii and Mount Vesuvius burps, and you think, oh, there's nothing. It's not going to get any worse than that. But those little earthquakes you feel are a signal that the volcano's ready to go, and we're going to be in trouble. There's no changes in the approach from the Biden administration. The problems that we have, you see them; they're being completely ignored. There's no attempt to adjust whatsoever, and I think that the American people understand. Again, energy, of course, is one thing, food's another thing, but it's also, my God, rents. You think, oh, I can't buy a house, but my God, you can't pay your rent.
Right.
So these are things that are going to continue horribly. The only way it's going to change is there's this understanding that the regulations on top of inflation, but Biden regulations when it comes to the production of materials is that kind of quiet underlying cancer. It costs every American household $15,000 a year, Annie. And that is not the inflation we're speaking of. We're speaking about the generalized rise in costs overall for living our lives as a whole. And those are regulations that are unnatural. And so someone like Trump is going to go in, as we've seen. We saw Trump change things in a day in 2017. We saw Biden change it back to Dante's seventh level in one day in 21, and it can happen again.
Yes,
because these are about regulations that can be reversed. But the Biden administration, they want this, and I write about it a little bit in my book. But the lack of an ability to pay for things makes you more reliant on the government.
Amen.
Raises the fear level, makes you a kind of a constant ward of the state, and then they gain more power. And then it builds, and that's what they're hoping for. Yeah. And it can change, but it will change next year when there's a new president.
Yes, from your lips to God's
Kamala
ears.
Harris.
Yes, you will own nothing. That seems to be the goal here. We're speaking with Tammy Bruce. Her book that she's referring to, Fear Itself: Exposing the Left's Minds Killing Agenda. I saw that you got a very, very nice review from President Trump. himself. I'm curious if you feel like, last question before we let you go, I'm curious if you feel like Kamala Harris will ever get the interview that America needs, where she's put on the spot to actually answer unscripted questions from actual journalists.
You know, if they can avoid it, they will. And they avoided it with Biden. They eventually did have to have him do the debates.
Yeah.
And at that point, he was a little bit better than he is now. But I think that, you know, their goal is, because remember also what she's already avoided, the primary season is meant to introduce people to the American people, right? These candidates, that's where we're supposed to see, how do people perform under fire? How do they speak to us? What do they say when confronted? You know, the hard questions, that's what the primary season is for. And she, of course, has been gone. That has not existed for Kamala Harris. She couldn't even handle it for a few weeks. Last time she had to drop out for 2020.
That's because her party didn't like her.
Well, you know, that's it. And just the nature of, there's been books written and there's been some other articles about how she seems. And this is why my last column is saying directly, not even suggesting, that her word salads and the weird stuff about her explaining the cloud computing is actually our data being not on planet Earth, that it's in a cloud. And this was in 2010, speaking to Google, when she had been the San Francisco district attorney for 6 years. And she was answering a question about searches, unreasonable searches and seizures in the Fourth Amendment. And she went on to explain that the cloud computing is a big problem because it takes, you know, it's like it means it's in the air above us. In other words, the main, and then she wins Attorney General, a person who's a lawyer facing legal and prosecutorial decisions on magical thinking about the cloud. And it's like, what else has this woman done?
Yeah.
But the articles with people who've met her and have dealt with her, words like strange and loopy and nonsense. So they got rid of Biden because of his obvious cognitive issues. She seems to have something that is also having an impact on her intellectual cognitive ability to communicate. And it doesn't seem to be nerves. A lot of people, you know, freeze up in public, but no, it's the series of things. Yes, the laughter, the word salads. You think it's just because it's some kind of a trick. She genuinely has some problem that, once again, seems to be, you know, hidden from us. The people need to look for. It's on my Twitter account. Her description of the cloud. In what's supposed to be a serious interview in a group with people from Google who would know, but nobody. At Google, she explains, and she waves her hands above her head like this, and she's like a child, amazed at how the data and things we have are no longer on our laptop; they're above us.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Now,
yeah. You laugh so you don't cry.
It's exactly. So this is very serious, and it's a very dangerous time. And it's not just we'll have, you know, some goof being the president. As we've seen, it's going to be, if the Middle East continues at this rate and Israel does not have our support and everybody's got nuclear bombs, we are going to have a catastrophe that we think the Afghanistan withdrawal was a catastrophe. That is a tiny smidgen of a drop to the nature of what's going to be happening to human beings on this planet if Americans allow this to occur. And it's partly the Republicans' responsibility to be smart. And I see J.D. Vance has gotten a bit more refined about how he's speaking about the issues, which is good news. But my God. And then one last thing I will argue for you, your audience, and for conservatives. There are conservatives who are wringing their hands and clutching their pearls about J.D. Vance and about Trump should do this, that, and the other thing. These are people who are sitting around, maybe placating their media bosses. I don't know. But for the conservatives who are sitting there thinking, oh, my God, it's over. Oh, my God, Trump just should have just shut up about the whatever. You know what? Stop second-guessing this guy.
Yeah.
He's been, right, he had a bullet bounce off his head. He knows what's at stake. He's losing everything. He knows what he's doing. And little people sitting behind their desks need to shut up.
Amen.
They need to, because it's a psyop. This is a psyop to depress the conservatives and Trump supporters into retreating. It is the same dynamic as creating fear. And it works because the human mind is fragile, but also these are long-tested techniques. And if you see a conservative, quote unquote, complaining and whining about Vance and Trump because they're doing the wrong thing, well, when you do what either one of them have been able to accomplish, then you can speak up. But for right now, stop adding to the Democrat psyop against this whole country.
Man,
this is anyway. So I'm sorry. I got a little.
No, I'm gonna clip that, and I'm going to listen to it every morning for the next 90 days, just so that I can be fully motivated to come to work and do, as Kamala says, do the work. She says that phrase all of the time.
Yeah, that's right. Let's get to work. Right.
Yeah. Let's actually stop getting to work and start doing something for the American people. Tammy, we appreciate you so much, and I am so grateful for your passion on the show. We look forward to having you back very soon, and everyone needs to check out your book, Fear Itself. It's fantastic.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Tammy Bruce, everybody, Fox News contributor and author, best-selling author of the book Fear Itself, Exposing the Left's Mind-Killing Agenda. Inject that into my veins. I'm ready to go. Tammy Bruce. Clapping for her. All right, let's take a quick break. Wiggins America. Sorry, you got to follow that, Wiggins. I'm not sorry. He's going to do food news when we come back. Only in this show. All right. Hey, listen, if you didn't get to hear the whole Tammy Bruce interview right there, it'll be on our podcast. You can also listen to everything that we clip from the show, the whole show, everything at AnnieFryShow.com. It'll be right there in a playlist for you. Just click play and listen. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Cassins & Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. If you are going into this fall, I'm going to start talking about fall. I like fall, and it's near. And if you're going into the fall thinking you need a new vehicle, make sure that Cassins & Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram has the opportunity to earn your business. They have certainly earned mine multiple times over. The website is CassinsCan.com. CassinsCan.com. Go visit that website. You can see the inventory of used and new vehicles that they have on their lot right now. But if the car that you're looking for, maybe they've got the car but not the color, if it's not there, they will help find it for you. They will make sure that you get what you've been looking for so that you are a satisfied customer. You're going to get a great price. They're very honest people, and they will work very hard to bring you in so that the next time that you go to buy a vehicle, you just go back to Cassins. I did that myself. I did that when I was not endorsing them. I trust them with my money, with the family that I'm putting in my car that I got from Cassins, and I hope that you'll give them the opportunity to earn your business as well. They're located in Glen Carbon, about a mile north on 159, right off of 270, but online at CassinsCan.com.
Store is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200 and always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door, the most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. 314-781-5200.
American Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
St. Louis City SC is advancing onto the knockout stage of Leagues Cup 2024. Get ready to cheer on City SC as they take on the Portland Timbers this Friday, August 9th at City Park. Tickets are on sale now at SeatGeek.com starting at just $25. Leagues Cup. 3 countries, 2 leagues, 1 champion.
We need you to grade the Missouri primary election results. That's today's Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll. Did you give them an A, a B/C, a D, or an F? Let us know. We'll give you the results at the end of the show. Genuinely curious as to how you feel about how the primary went yesterday. 12:50. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Focus Marines Foundation is here to help veterans transition from service to civilian life, and we're here to support them. This is Mark Cox inviting you to get involved in this month's Conservatives Care effort by visiting 971talk.com.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins!
That song is a good jam.
Yeah. Are there real words to that, or is it just ding, ding, da, ding, da,
It's
ding?
better than Chaperone.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe it's the original Chaperone.
If I'm not catching you early enough, then take this to the bank tomorrow, because this is all about food news, and we're going to start with how to get great value meals. We talked about this a little bit on Monday.
Is this from your own personal experience?
It's both, because I have tried, I think, 90% of these. The only one that I haven't is the first one. I'll start with Jack in the Box has a $5 meal. Now, all of these are kind of bandwagoning.
You've covered this 3 times.
No, it keeps growing, though, because the original was, McDonald's is adding a $5 meal. Now everybody's doing it, and I got to give you the updated report.
Okay.
Jack in the Box, $5 big deal meal. Includes a chicken sandwich or a jumbo jack, pretty similar to the McDonald's one, plus a taco, plus curly fries, plus a drink. McDonald's
Why
is
is
similar.
it that now, not only are we dealing with inflation monetarily, but why does a value meal have to include a sandwich, fries, a drink, and something else?
Because, I was thinking about this, Annie. I'm glad you asked. In my research...
I did not ask that question because you told me to, for the record.
In my personal research of this topic, which I'm doing daily, I've found that if you just have a drink, fries, sandwich, and that's it. What was that? What I missed in the drink, fries, sandwich.
That's a full meal.
Those 3 things.
Yeah. That's a full meal.
If it's not a big sandwich, though, and you go, well, I just spent $5 on 3 items.
It's
it doesn't
not about
feel.
the money. It's about the calories.
It
and
is about
fat.
the money. It's about the money and feeling full when you get done. So adding that 4th item
Do you
makes
just
you go,
eat until you're full?
Ooh, I would say that I do, and then I would put a period after that sentence. Yes. I just eat until I don't want to eat anymore. And these meals, they don't quite get me there. But
it's because the food, I'm not saying it's crap in the sense that I don't ever eat it, but it's terrible for you. It doesn't fill you up because it's not full of things that are supposed to fill you up because it's not good for you.
Listen, I don't want to be doing this research.
No, you do.
It's something I have to do for the show.
Nobody even asked you to do this. You keep talking about value meals and fast food.
because I'm so frugal, it's really that's what it comes down to is that I go, $5 for a lunch? You can't hardly find that anywhere anymore. And now you can find it lots of places.
You can at Ruler Foods and make your own lunch.
And
It's
I feel,
healthier.
yeah, I do that too. Burger King has a $5 Your Way meal, very similar. Whopper Jr. or bacon cheeseburger, plus fries,
Whopper
4-piece
Jr.
nuggets.
or a bacon cheeseburger?
Or bacon cheeseburger.
Plus what?
Plus 4-piece nuggets and a 12-ounce drink.
No, you get a sandwich or you get a chicken side, and then you get fries, and then you get a drink, and that's still not healthy for you.
I'm not saying any of these are healthy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not coming at this and being like, here's what you need to do for your heart. Wendy's $5 biggie bag.
You're saying do it for your wallet.
Yes, do it for your wallet.
Which, after you go into cardiac arrest,
your wallet's shot anyway.
says Brad, who's had heart attacks.
Yeah, but do it for your mental health then.
That's no,
that's not fun either.
No.
Oh, sure it is, because it
your
makes
mental
you
health
feel
shot
great.
after a heart attack as well.
You leave the restaurant going, man.
Are you confident in that, Brad? Is that? Are you?
Yeah,
are you
I'm
sure
speaking as someone who
Shout out to Wendy's. They've had the $5 biggie bag for quite some time, so it's not new. Last one on the list. Well, no, not last one, but Carl's Jr. / Hardee's has the $5
just say
All-Star
Hardee's
meal.
here.
Now I know. And then Taco Bell.
What's in the Hardee's one?
Carl's Jr.
It's going to be a sandwich and nuggets and fries and a small drink.
It's basically that. There's not much of a difference yet. Double cheeseburger or spicy chicken sandwich plus 4-piece chicken stars and fries. and a
Chicken
drink.
stars?
Yeah.
What part of the chicken does that come from?
The star,
The
right?
feet.
The nipple.
It's
just
nipples
stamp
and
it out of
feets.
there.
Do
Right.
you? Honest question. I'm gonna dwell here since you're gonna dwell there.
Yeah.
If you get done eating all of that food, do you ever have regret?
No.
No. You guys can't see this on the radio, but his face indicates that he really means no.
I was offended by the question itself.
You never eat like a big cheeseburger, full bag of fries with a side of chicken and you get regular soda, don't you?
Yeah, sometimes.
And at the end, you're not like,
No, at the end of these, I'm like, could use a little
Wiggins
more.
America?
No. Not at the end of these
Andy,
meals.
that feeling you're talking
that's
about,
me.
I usually get that feeling just pulling into the drive-thru at some of those places.
Like you've already committed.
Yeah,
Like
it's
this
like,
is what
oh,
we're
no.
doing. And you know that you're making, at best, a poor decision. And then the question is how poor. How often when you get a value meal, Ryan, do you make it larger than it just generally comes?
Most of the time.
Okay.
Because it's the cost analysis.
It's not about the money.
If you're already spending
No.
$8, why not spend $8.50 and get
That's
the larger version?
Exactly what big food wants you to think.
Yeah, well, I'm bought in. I'm doing free reports for him
I
here
know.
on the radio.
I know. We're getting literally nothing from this.
Last one almost, is Taco Bell. They have a $7 cravings box. They used to have a $5. I'm a little bit offended by this as much as I was by your question about upsizing. Chalupa Extreme, beefy 5-layer burrito, double stacked taco, chips, and nacho cheese, and a drink.
That's 4 things and a drink?
Yeah, and a drink for $7. And my own research shows that IHOP is also getting on board, although not fast food. $5 all-you-can-eat
We
pancakes.
have to go to break.
I know.
I know, but I need to tell you Deroy Murdock and more is coming next.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2024 with the Turtles, Jay and the Americans, The Association, Badfinger, The Vogues, and the Cowsills. Friday, August 16th, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Get ready for the all-new Athleta Presents Gold Over America Tour. Join Simone Biles and America's best gymnasts for a night of action-packed gymnastics. October 15th at the Family Arena. Fun for the whole family. You and your kids will love this high-energy spectacle. Music, lights, breathtaking flips, and Gold Squad dancers. Let's GOAT! October 15th at the Family Arena. Tickets on sale now at goldoveramericaTour.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-656-1551. That's 800-656-1551. 800-656-1551.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Pains in the same places. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Vice President Harris and running mate Minnesota Governor Tim Walz at a rally this hour in Wisconsin.
This will be the first time that voters in this battleground state will be hearing from the new Democratic vice presidential nominee. He was unveiled last night at an event in Philadelphia, a very large crowd, but the Harris campaign is hoping that he'll be able to appeal to some of these Midwestern voters who may not have been so keen on the idea of Harris at the top of the ticket.
Fox's Mark Meredith in Eau Claire. Later, they'll be in Detroit. The Harris campaign announcing Team Harris-Walz raised $36 million in the first 24 hours since Tim Walz was announced as Harris's running mate. Republican Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance was in Detroit this morning, where he again ripped Vice President Harris for choosing Walz.
She bends the knee to the far left of the Democrat Party. She's done it every single time in government. She's done it in who she selected as her VP nominee, and she will do it if the American people give her a promotion to President of the United States.
And Vance accused Harris of wanting to defund the police and open the borders. Iranian rockets injuring American troops as tensions between Iran and Israel rise.
On Monday, these two Katyusha rockets were fired at a base in western Iraq called the Ain al-Assad Air Base that houses American troops. And 7 U.S. service members and contractors were injured during that incident. Now, they were fired by an organization called Kataib Hezbollah. Kataib Hezbollah is the main Iraqi Shia militia that is funded and supported by the Iranian regime. So this was used to send a message to the Americans that they will be threatened as well when there are operations that take place against Iran in its territory, like the killing last week of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh.
Fox's Trey Inks in Haifa, Israel. The military-run hearings for suspected 9/11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and 2 others may not happen after Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin decided to toss out a plea deal. America's listening to Fox News.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Our temperature's running a good 10 to 15 degrees cooler, and this is going to hang around for a while. Some clouds around this afternoon. Cooler and drier air, 82 for the high. Tonight, clear skies develop. 70s for evening plans, 64 for the low. On Thursday, sunny and 85. Friday, sunny 82. The weekend, sunny and 80 each day. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Jen Teske with Remax Alliance. You can find her online, jenteskehomes.com, Teske. Check out the listings that she has right now. Man, she shares some of these on her Facebook page. You can connect with her there as well. And just some absolutely beautiful homes available that are listed right now with Jen Teske. Now, if you were one of those individuals who would like to list your home and get top dollar and have the best treatment around, her team is fantastic. You will not be disappointed. And you can start the conversation very early in the process. If you're even sort of thinking about listing your home, get the conversation started right now. You can find out really what you're thinking ballpark in this market. Rates have come down, we've heard here recently. Maybe more houses are going to come on the market. Maybe there's going to be more activity for buyers who are looking for exactly what you have to offer. But make sure you present it in a way that's going to get you the top dollar. 618-541-1010. You can call her or text her at 618-541-1010. It's Jen Teskey with RE/MAX Alliance. JenTeskeyHomes.com.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service and Environmental Resources. At Hansen's, we manufacture a full line of garden and landscape products that are perfect for your outdoor project. Pick up any of our products at World Outdoor Emporium, Kirkwood Materials, or a Hansen's location near you.
St. Louis, Walk to End Lupus now. The 2024 Walk to End Lupus takes place September 7th at Creve Coeur Lake Memorial Park under the Trayman Pavilion. Join us in person to Walk to End Lupus now. Sign up yourself or register your team today. The Lupus Foundation will provide you with all the tools you need to fundraise for lupus research, support, and educational services, all while earning awesome incentives. Invite friends, family, and coworkers to join your team and fundraise. Join us as we unite as one lupus community. For more information, visit the website at lupus.org/heartland.
Public service announcement from Bart Inman, Air Conditioning. School starting 2024. So all the juniors and seniors, or possibly even the sophomores, but let's just say if you just know school's not for you because it bores you, trade schools is an option for you. A lot of the high schools have it. For your junior and senior year, you can receive credit upon graduation of high school, get a very, very good job in the trades. When I say very good job, you're building America, you're building the school that you're sitting in, you're building the house that you live in. You get great pride in building something every single day. You don't want to go to college? Pick a trade school. I'm partial to Rankin Technical, so pass this along. If you're not in the trades or if you're a parent or your grandparent, speak with your child or your grandchild. Remember, boys or girls, the trades are available and you're not putting your kids in debt for a useless piece of paper. God bless.
It's what's happening.
Hi, this is Tim.
It's Kamala Harris. Good morning, Governor.
Right now.
Tim Walz's record is a joke.
Keeping you informed.
A path to victory in November is the #1 priority.
And up to date. 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
As much as I love my job, but all they did was radicalize me, and so now they be afraid.
Cori Bush is mad. She is not handling this well. St. Louis told Cori Bush yesterday in our primary that at least the Congressional District 1 here said, yeah, we're good. We're done with you. And I think it's important for people to remember. You put Wesley Bell in, who is a prosecutor here. He's a very, very far left progressive. He just isn't as nuts as Cori Bush is. Like I said, she's not handling it well. We'll play a little bit more from her psychotic rant yesterday after she lost late last night. We have a Tim Walz nomination for the vice president portion of the Harris-Walz ticket. She decided to go to the Minnesota governor instead of the Pennsylvania governor. Whether that was her choice or he bowed out, I don't know. But let's get to Deroy Murdock. I'm excited to have him back on the show. Nationally syndicated columnist, Fox News contributor. Lots of news continuing to unfold in between each time we speak. Deroy, it's good to have you back on the show with us.
Annie, how are you? You know, we could talk at 1 o'clock and then talk again at 3 o'clock, and there'd probably be 15 more things to discuss in those
no joke.
Intervening 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, and it's hard we're tasked with paying attention to all of this. There's a lot of people who aren't paying attention to it, but they are impacted by the results of elections like yesterday or the implications of a Harris-Walz ticket. What do you make of Kamala Harris's decision to say, this is the direction that I want my administration to go?
Well, the earlier comment you said about people who don't pay attention, I like to tell people, look, they'll say, well, I'm not interested in government. I say, yeah, well, guess what? The government's interested in you.
Amen.
That's the problem. It's not a two-way street. As for what this means, Kamala Harris, in this sort of bloodless coup where they overthrew Joe Biden, I actually feel sorry for the man at this point, and just sort of wrestled the nomination away from him without anybody voting for her. She spent the intervening about 17 days or 16 days saying, well, I used to hate fracking. I now love fracking. I was for Medicare for all. I'm now the biggest proponent of private health insurance and the Green New Deal. What's that? I've never heard of it. Borders are what borders are. So she spent all this time trying to convert herself into what I call Margaret Kamala Thatcher. And now, that she might have been able to continue that masquerade had she picked Josh Shapiro, who I think is obviously a Democrat, a liberal Democrat, but not totally insane, and also the popular governor of a state with a huge number of electoral college votes. I believe it's 19. It's probably one of the biggest prizes among the swing states, if not the biggest. And she decided not to do that. She seemed to buckle under to the pro-Hamas, anti-Semitic wing of the Democrat Party, and instead picked one of their favorites, Governor Walz of Minnesota, who is far left, frankly insane in a lot of areas, even maybe further to the left of Kamala Harris, the original Kamala Harris, not the new and improved Kamala Harris. And that says to me that she is, not interested really in moving towards any kind of a moderate or centrist or even, non-insane Democrat governance. If, God forbid, she gets elected, we're going to have the crazy wacko wing of the Democrat Party in the Oval Office and right down the hall in the Vice President's office, and also serving as the President of the Senate if American people do the wrong thing and elect the Harris-Walz ticket to the presidency.
Deroy, I keep hearing them shriek about threats to democracy. Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. It's a pillar of their campaign, even though it's like, what does that even mean? I did some quick research, and I don't know what to make of this, but Reuters reported on July 15th that the DNC was going to nominate Joe Biden virtually just to get everything done ahead of time before the convention. They said something about an Ohio ballot. Ohio said, well, we took care of that. And they said, well, just to be extra sure. So they made that decision on July 15th. And then 6 days later, on July 21st, Joe Biden drops out. I have a theory that on July 15th, they knew exactly what was going to happen, that Biden was going to drop out, and that this was the way to guarantee that they didn't have to go to a convention and hope that people would back Kamala Harris.
Well, that's interesting. I know that what you talk about doing the early online nomination, Democrats got themselves in some trouble because the date, the deadline to get on the Ohio ballot was after the convention. I don't know why they screwed that up.
Right.
I thought it was, okay, we'll do a big Zoom call. That will be official nomination, and the convention would just be basically a party, essentially. I guess somehow they didn't do that, and they managed to slough off poor Joe Biden, who's not been seen in a week. I think that this was basically, like I say, a bloodless coup d'etat by the anti-Democrat Party. These, as you say, are the people who lecture all of us, and especially Donald Adolf Hitler Trump, essentially, as they describe him, as being a threat to democracy, and it'll be the last election we ever have in America, et cetera. And these same people who claim to be the Vatican of democracy in the world just are now in the process of installing a nominee for president who's not received one vote. Not one single ballot was cast for Kamala Harris for president. I've never seen such a thing. This is the first time in American history, I believe, that this has happened. And, if you're going to do that, well, great. Just be honest and say, look, we'll stick in whoever we want, the voters be damned. But instead they do this and then claim to be the guarantors and the protectors of democracy in the world versus Donald J. Trump, who actually received ballots and millions of votes and properly got the delegates who voted for him at the convention and made him the nominee for the GOP. So it seems to me that the Republican Party is the small d Democrat Party, and the capital D Democratic Party is really the anti-democracy party, as they've proved again and again. And now with this far left presidential nominee and maybe even further left VP nominee, I think they're going to divorce themselves even further for the American public. And I hope people see that and vote accordingly and send Kamala Harris and Governor Walz back to the private sector.
I wanted to ask you about the National Association of Black Journalists appearance that Donald Trump made. And it was interesting to look at all of the reaction after the fact from people on X that were either maybe part of the National Association of Black Journalists or people of color who were reacting to Donald Trump, giving him credit for going into the Lion's Den there, knowing that it's not going to be comfortable territory, but being willing to do it. Not really so much saying, well, I'm going to endorse Donald Trump because of it, but at least showing him some respect for participating in that when Kamala Harris chose to be busy that day and not be able to show up when she had prior committed to it. I wonder what you made of that event. It was definitely tense. It was definitely hostile. Do you think it was a plus for Donald Trump to do that, or should he take that pitch the next time he's offered?
I think even critics of Donald J. Trump give him some credit for showing up, one Lion's Den after another. He, as you say, appeared before the two very hostile journalists at the National Association of Black Journalists about a week ago. Harris Faulkner of Fox News was there. I think she asked much more fair questions. He did that. He's been on CNN multiple times. I think he's even been on MSNBC. He's gone before this group of voters in the Bronx, in the South Bronx, New York. He's been up to Harlem. He's gone a lot of places that Republicans don't normally go. And if you're trying to appeal for the black vote, the Hispanic vote, to the Jewish vote, whatever it is, you need to show up and ask for it politely. And in fact, it seems to be holding up the polls. He's scored as high as about 25% of the black vote. About a week ago, maybe last Thursday, I believe the latest Harris-Harvard survey came out. And even after Kamala Harris had become the nominee for the Democrats, he's still holding on to 25% of the Democrat vote. And if he hangs on to that, it's going to be very hard for Kamala Harris to make this work, because that's still, even if she gets the suburban women excited and everything else, it's very hard to win an election if 1/4 of the black base of the Democrat Party goes away. And I think a lot of that, as you say, is people who appreciate being asked politely for their support. And unlike a lot of Republicans who just stay away from black folks, Trump is actually showing up and talking to them. And I think a lot of people either appreciate it and are supporting him, or if they don't support him, they at least appreciate the fact that he's showing up, unlike Kamala Harris, who totally blew off the Association of Black Journalists and didn't even drop by to attend.
Deroy Murdock speaking with us right now. He's a nationally syndicated columnist. He's with Fox News contributor as well. One of the things that Donald Trump has said, too, when it comes to that a lot has been made of it, was his comment about black jobs. And I believe it had to do with immigration. And I wonder, when you heard him say that, again, does it make you cringe to hear that? Do you understand what he was saying differently? What was your reaction?
Yeah, I assume when he said black jobs, he meant jobs held by black people. I don't think that he's saying, black people only do XYZ jobs. I think he meant people, basically black job holders, if you will, or black employees, if you want to use that term. I think always President Trump could use pick some of his words a little more carefully. And those of us who watch him very often understand what he means, even though it doesn't necessarily come out quite as smoothly as he'd like. But I don't think there's anything malicious or inappropriate by that. He tends to talk a little bit quickly, and sometimes will start a sentence and not finish it, or begin a thought and not quite complete it, and that's sometimes a little bothersome. But I think most people who follow him and have heard him speak before understand that he wasn't talking about saying that blacks only hold a certain number of jobs, but that black job holders in general, I think he's saying, often suffer at the hands of illegal aliens who come in and charge very, very little money for their labor, and therefore put pressure on black wages, and the pressure is downward, not upward.
Isn't it interesting, Deroy, that if you listen to what Donald Trump is saying, the context is always there to understand the intention of it. And like you said, maybe sometimes he could articulate a little bit better. But you can always understand the point that he's trying to make. Isn't it interesting how the press will listen to what Donald Trump says and immediately glean what they want him to have said for their own personal benefit, regardless of what the actual context or intent was? Meanwhile, Kamala Harris is talking. Nobody knows what she's saying. She's saying literally nothing with so many words, and they don't even try to summarize. They just let her talk, and then they move on to a hit piece on Trump.
Yes, the significance of time is that there is some significance to time. Yeah, things like that, exactly.
And the time is of the significance. Yes.
And nothing more is more timely than the significance of time, precisely. Well, this is the case with President Trump. He has, not 1 millimeter of wiggle room or leeway, or looking at him with the benefit of the doubt from the standpoint of the left-wing media. And anything he says, if he has one comma out of place, they're going to jump all over him and assume he means the worst possible interpretation of anything he says. You recall that 4 or 5 day brouhaha about Trump threatening a bloodbath if he loses the election.
Yes.
What he said was a bloodbath would happen in the auto industry if Biden were reelected and he allowed a bunch of cheap Chinese-owned, Mexican-manufactured electric vehicles to come to the United States, and there'd be a bloodbath in the auto industry because they'd be undercut by prices, and a lot of auto workers would lose their jobs. This was presented as, if I lose the election, my MAGA supporters are going to run through the streets and slit the throats of Democrats. And that's not at all what he said. Anyone who watched the speech understood that. These journalists who claimed otherwise knew better, but they saw an opportunity to beat up on Trump and create a brand new hoax and claim that he was threatening a bloodbath, all these people dying if he lost the election, which is not what he said, but they were able to get 3 or 4 or 5 days of huge, nasty headlines out of that. And you're right. When they take anything that's even slightly ambiguous and they don't say, well, maybe he meant this. They say, no, obviously it's further proof that he's, the bastard son of Adolf Hitler or something like this. I mean, that's the instant kind of knee-jerk reaction they have to anything that Trump says that can be interpreted anything differently how he meant it.
Yeah, it's so predictable and so frustrating, and yet there are still people who are influenced by it. It's very frustrating. So I would like to have people like you on, Deroy, to add some clarity to the sense of whatever is going on by the hour. We're always grateful for you.
Mounting non-clarity.
Yes, exactly. Deroy, thank you. Good to speak with you again.
All right, Annie. Great to talk to you. Thank you.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Deroy Murdock is a nationally syndicated columnist and Fox News contributor. We love having him on the show with us each week. Quick break. When we come back, let's talk about the YouTube live chat poll. Grade the Missouri primary election results. How do you feel about what Missouri declared yesterday through those primary results? We'll discuss when we come back. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Fry Show.
Window World, stlewis.com, Window World, stlewis.com. Visit their website if you're in the market for windows. You want to go to somewhere you can trust. And you can trust Window World. They're locally here in St. Louis. And when you shop with them, you're going to have a great product, of course. These windows come with a lifetime warranty that covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor. And you can trust that they stand by their windows. They'll stand on your windows to show you how strong they are. And they're not going to pressure you in a situation where they're like, you feel like a hostage. That's not how they do business. They don't need to do business like that. When you reach out to Window World, you can call them at 314-993-1800, 314-993-1800. Make sure you mention with Window World that you heard about this on the Annie Fry Show, because you're going to be entered into a drawing for 4 St. Louis Blues tickets during the upcoming season. So give them a call at 314-993-1800 and start the conversation. You can request a free in-home estimate on your window project and get the process started, the one of 2 windows with a Good Housekeeping seal of approval. Many people and many prestigious entities have very much so congratulated Window World on the quality of their windows, and you can check the reviews everywhere else online. 314-993-1800. Don't forget to mention the Annie Fry Show. You can visit them online, windowworldstlewis.com.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Seminars Tuesday, August 13th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites St. Louis Airport in St. Louis, and Wednesday, August 14th at the 4 Points by Sheraton St. Louis Fairview Heights in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m.
Hey St. Louis, are you in search of top-notch cybersecurity solutions? Look no further. ThrottleNet is here to help. Ransomware attacks are on the rise, putting businesses like yours at risk. Don't let cyber criminals jeopardize your hard-earned success. ThrottleNet provides comprehensive cybersecurity services tailored specifically to your unique needs. Our award-winning customer service provides 24/7 protection to keep your data safe and secure. Take charge of your digital security today. Protect your business, protect your future. ThrottleNet.com, your reliable partner in cybersecurity.
Home values are sky high, and you have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market is peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's time. Except for two things. High interest rates will burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest TrueHold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Smart, right? TrueHold will make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others. It's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, or secure your retirement. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. TrueHold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much TrueHold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You entrusted a nursing home with the care of a loved one, but they violated that trust. If your family member has been the victim of nursing home neglect, call Onder Law at 844-BEDSOR.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for a free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Wednesday afternoon, Missouri's primary is over. We're pointed toward the general election. All kinds of hot takes and more starting at 3.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for being here with us this afternoon. It's the day after the Missouri primary, and things happened yesterday. Our YouTube live chat poll is ready for you to come vote and grade what you think about yesterday's poll results. We've got a clip here. Let's see. I'm going to play this one. Mike Kehoe coming out ahead in the Missouri governor race had this to say last night.
St. Louis is my home, and I am just absolutely thrilled that I'm here and I can represent them. We're going to make that city incredible. I love it, and I don't even know how to put words into it.
It was a really close race. What do you think accounted for voters turning to you?
We worked hard. We went everywhere in this state. We had over 27 organizations endorsing us. We had volunteers. We hit all the bases we needed to hit to run as hard a campaign as we did. And it was hard work, and our volunteers, people believed in us.
The election doesn't end tonight. You said tomorrow you're going to still continue.
I didn't hear.
The election isn't over, as you said.
No. We're going to start working hard tomorrow morning. Tonight's about these people who have supported us for years. Tomorrow morning, we're back at it, and we'll work as hard as we can to win in November.
So Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe, they're excited to be able to declare victory over Bill Eigel and Jay Ashcroft. With 95% plus votes in right now, he received 274,840 votes. That's 39.4% of the vote. 227,000 to Bill Eigel and 162,000 to Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft at 23.2%. So, he's got to win. He won by about 50,000 votes. He also only convinced less than 40% of Missouri that he was the right guy as somebody who is a statewide official right now. Of course, I live in Illinois, so I have left a lot of the coverage of the Missouri primary to Mark, and they've done a fantastic job. Mark Reardon did a wonderful job with a huge, huge cast last night on our election results show. But what do you guys make of the Mike Kehoe thing? Because Mike Kehoe was billed as the establishment. Isn't it kind of funny to take in the Missouri election as an outsider? I almost feel like a lot of people in my life get to be as kind of an outsider. They're like, it's happening. It's important, but it's not for me. That watching all of this stuff happen and people who are very passionate about one candidate or another. Kehoe was billed as the establishment guy.
Well, he had the most money for sure, and that helped a lot.
But I mean, does that have anything to do with being establishment?
Yeah, I think so, because that means you have establishments behind you, giving you a lot of money.
Don't you think of establishment though being like trying to keep the status quo of government where it is? That's the way that you're there to serve the establishment of government as opposed to the people. Brad, how do you view establishment?
Yeah. Establishment is like the guy, the lifelong politician who's been in there that, like you said, the status quo, keep the machine running. We've got a good system here. Let's not rock the boat. It works for me.
You could have a lot of money behind you and be a trailblazer.
Yes.
And I don't think that by virtue of just having a lot of money behind you, I think it's easy to bill that as a negative thing. Like if I were running against someone who had all the money,
hear you. Yeah.
I would obviously be like, well, of course he's got it. You know why? Because he's going to serve them and not me.
Yeah,
that's how I would talk if I were running for office.
that's why you'd win.
Yeah. No, that's why I'm here and not running for office.
No, I think that overall, and governor's race included, I thought there were a lot of really good candidates that I would have liked to have seen fare a little bit better. However, I don't really walk away from. I mean, as an Illinoisan, it doesn't directly impact me, but I don't walk away from last night thinking that there was any big loss. It does look like Eigel and Ashcroft kind of split the more deeply red vote.
You added those together.
56%.
Yeah, but that said, Kehoe will actually gain. He'll get a higher percentage of the vote entirely in the general. So, you can. You
hope.
Yeah, you figure he will, than 40%. But I don't necessarily see this as really any. It doesn't look like there was any sort of big referendum that happened yesterday in Missouri.
I saw in our chat here earlier. I don't know if we starred this comment. I should have probably done it myself. Yeah. Truth Fighter said after last night watching the Missouri results, Republicans need to worry. Now, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. However, I will point out that in the Republican primary governor race, there were 697,000 votes cast. In the Democrat governor race, there were 377,000.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sitting there worried.
No, I'm
for
not
the state
either.
of Missouri.
You did see some of the more conservative candidates outlast, because it wasn't by wide margins. Some of the more, like you said, maybe establishment candidates in the lieutenant governor's race. I was talking with Mark Cox. He said that I think the guy's name is Wassinger.
Mm-hmm.
He outlasted barely, it looks like. And I don't even know if they've actually called that race. As of this morning, they hadn't, because it was that close.
206,875 votes, 31.4% for Wassinger and Lincoln Huff.
Yes.
Is that how you say it? The other guy? Yep. 199,423 votes at 30.3%. So it is 1.1% difference right now with greater than 95% of the votes in. However, it is not called. Not according to the New York Times results that I'm looking at right now.
And then Bob Onder, obviously very conservative, and he won his primary. So I don't really see anything looking at Missouri today and think, this is really what happened yesterday. This is what shaped the race. It's just kind of all over the place. I mean, it seems like Republicans.
I very much so think that the Cori Bush race is the huge story.
I do
we
too.
said this yesterday.
I do too.
We said yesterday that that the national story, regardless of what happens in the Republican primary, the national story coming out of the Missouri primary would be if Cori Bush lost, and probably if she won too. If she would have won, it probably would have held through. But her loser speech last night, and I only say that because she was the loser, was
pulling me away from my position as Congresswoman. All you did was take some of the strings off. Let's be clear. 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 Let's talk about what it really is. Because see, now I don't have to worry about some strings that I have attached, and as much as I love my job. But all they they did was radicalize me, and so now they be afraid.
So I'm going to pause this 54 seconds in. She's essentially only said two things in 54 seconds. Well, three things. She said that there ain't no strings on me.
Yeah.
Pinocchio is fitting.
Yeah.
And secondly, that she is now radicalized. It's funny that she's the last one to come to that conclusion. However, the other thing is she wants to be clear. There were 8.5 because she finished the let's be clear with the reiteration of that. But she went on.
See, now they about to see this other Cori, this other side, because let me say this. I just grew up a whole lot more over the last few weeks. Just grew up a whole different way. And so what they are about to get, they think. So the thing is this.
She doesn't know what she's saying. I've watched
come to that
this.
conclusion.
I've watched this whole thing. She's got a riled up crowd. They're all there supporting her. She is ticked off that she lost. She is mad that she lost. And it's, again, the chaperone. Like, you got the vibe, you got the beat. I don't really need to know what the words are because I got the people. I got their attention. She doesn't.
The thing is this, I don't think that anything.
She's still not saying anything. There's no words.
There is nothing that happens in my life that happens in vain. So if this happened, it's because it was meant to happen. And let me say, it's because of the work that I need to do. And let me say this.
Please. Say something. Make your point.
AIPAC, I'm coming to tear your kingdom down.
No, that's not what you should have said. That's not it. I mean, when Cori Bush gets spanked, and folks, listen to me. Wesley Bell is the same policies, but in a reasonable approach of a human being. One might say not radicalized. I don't know. I'll use her words. Wesley Bell is not a step in the right direction from a policy standpoint for the congressional district that envelops St. Louis here. But boy, is it going to be less embarrassing to watch your representative on a regular basis just in the way they behave. And last night was the cherry on top. Like, okay, we see you. And like I said, you are the last one to come to the conclusion that everybody else here came to a long time ago. Goodbye.
What does it look like if the version of Cori Bush that we've been seeing is the one with all the strings attached? That she's saying, now that I'm free, I can finally say what I really want to say.
Here's the thing, though. When you listen to that, that is just a person processing out loud their extreme anger and disappointment at losing their job, at
all
losing
emotions.
the race.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was nothing that, like, you could hear her think about, what am I feeling right now? How do I put that into words? There's no substance there. She's angry at AIPAC. Very clear that she's angry at that organization. But yeah, what does she look like? No, that's just blustering. And yeah, you may have voted me out, but that makes me worse. That makes me more angry.
It's a tantrum.
It is exactly what it is.
It's a tantrum. I've seen them before from my 3-year-old. When her sucker falls on the ground. It's the same. She doesn't say that she's going to burn my kingdom down, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little different.
What a lunatic to go in that direction. I mean, the other thing that I took from her speech there, that rant, that unhinged rant, it was all about Cori Bush. But of course it is. It always has been all about Cori Bush. I mean, I assume that when we hear of Wesley Bell, because he's going to win that seat, there are Republicans running against Wesley Bell in this district, a Republican, but it's not. It's going to be blue. Just like a lot of you, when you voted for Republicans yesterday, you knew that this was deciding who that statewide office was going to be. Who was going to hold it? I mean, when you listen to Kehoe talking about there, he was talking about all the things they're going to do for St. Louis and everything. And I'm like, well, you gotta 90 days. You gotta win that one too. But he's not worried about it. Maybe I don't know that he should be. I think Missouri has got just way more sensible people. higher percentage of sensible people, I should say, because Illinois has a lot more people. But I think the Cori Bush and the Jamal Bowman thing, yeah, they were funded by people who support causes different than them, but they're hateful, bigoted people. And it came back to bite them in the butt. And I don't see you, Cori Bush. I don't see you shaking your fist at the sky when George Soros comes here and funds Kim Gardner so that she can destroy the city of St. Louis. You didn't care about that. That wasn't a problem for you. I don't see these big blue cities, crying about Soros-funded district attorneys coming in and choosing not to prosecute crimes and turning criminals into victims and victims into criminals. You're not crying when that money comes flooding in because it's on your side. Spare me your hypocrisy. Boo-hoo. Loser. I'm so happy she lost.
I am too, because I heard a good portion of that speech last night, and you're exactly right, that it really wasn't about any sort of... The politicians you really want to get behind are the ones that have these big ideas, and they inspire you. Sometimes they motivate you out of fear or anger, but they're definitely motivating you. Cori Bush was talking about Cori Bush, and she was upset she lost her job.
She's a hateful person. It's not about her policies. She's a hateful person.
I got a press release last night it was actually how I found out that she had lost, because I was watching a lot of results, but I was watching more on the Republican side. And I got something from Justice Democrats, the headline being, Cori Bush is what the future of the Democratic Party looks like. And I was like, oh, did she win? No, she lost. And they still are saying she's the future. And I'm like, if that's what you think the future of your party looks like.
It is. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are in the same lane as Cori Bush. The Kamala Harris, Tim Walz agenda is better served when the squad is in charge and running things.
Yeah.
I think that's for certain. Let's talk more about it in the 2 o'clock hour. What do you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Give us your grades online in the Annie Fry YouTube chat. I want to get your guys' grades too. We'll do that right at the top of the 2 o'clock hour. We need to get to a break because I'm so excited to have Libby and Amy are coming in here, and they are with the Lutheran Elementary School Association. And this is a passion project for me. You've heard me talk about Lutheran schools before. I am so excited to be partnering with them because, folks, there is a way. Let's take a quick break and get them in here in just a minute. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
She's my sweet little baby. I'm a little lover boy. Yeah, I love Madeline. She's long and lame. You mess with her, you see a man get me. She's my sweet.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan. Been talking with Stewie. Rates are coming down a tick. And if you've gotten a mortgage in the last probably 2 years, you need to check with Stewie because you can refinance the mortgage that you have right now at no cost to you. When you use the Bagel Loan, when you qualify for the Bagel Loan with Stewart's American Mortgage, no closing costs. So why not take the opportunity right now to lock in a lower rate? And you might say, Annie, well, what if the rates go down a little bit even in 6 months or so? You could refinance again. And again, the cost to you is nothing because there's no closing costs. You can reach out to him. He can explain it in detail, or you can just take my word for it. But I always ask a billion questions, of course. 314-324-4440. That's the direct line to talk to Stewie. He is an incredible resource for you and your mortgage situation. He has told me before when I'm like, ooh, I have an idea. Maybe I should do this. And he's like, Annie, don't do that. He's honest. He's going to be as honest with you as he is with me. You can trust him. I do. Stewart's American Mortgage, 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan to find out more information today. NMLS number 226715.
30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
St. Louis City SC is advancing onto the knockout stage of Leagues Cup 2024. Get ready to cheer on City SC as they take on the Portland Timbers this Friday, August 9th at City Park. Tickets are on sale now at SeatGeek.com starting at just $25. Leagues Cup. 3 countries, 2 leagues, 1 champion.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
If you have a problem with the IRS, believe me, it's not going away on its own. The IRS never gives up. They have endless resources, so they control the game. Well, your tax problems can end. I'm attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm, a local tax resolution firm with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. I've handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years. So when you hire me, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some TV pitchman that's riddled with consumer complaints. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney. You need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
August is a great month to save money with Chesterfield Fence and Deck in your next beautiful outdoor project. Mark Cox here. For this month, you can get 20% off your completed outdoor project from my friends at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. And what great work they do. Lots of craftsmanship and pride because they've been at this since 1968. It is the sign you have the very best. If you have their sign in your yard, here's the deal. They love to come out and give you free estimates. They love to come out and help you with project design because, let's face it, not all of us know exactly what we want. But, boy, if you see it in a picture and they've got an extensive digital photo gallery, then you know when you see it what you want in your backyard. They've got beautiful fences and decks, and they've got pergolas and screen rooms and custom sunrooms. You'll love working with Chesterfield Fence and Deck, highly rated by the Better Business Bureau. Go to ChesterfieldFence.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-656-1551. That's 800-656-1551. 800-656-1551.
Grade the Missouri primary election results. Do you give them an A, a B, C, a D, or an F? That's today's Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Let us know what you think. We'll give the results at the end of the show today. 147. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
97.1 FM Talk. You're here, and so are St. Louis's conservative thought leaders. St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
1, 2, 3, 4. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I can't wait to get on the road again.
Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I am so overly excited about a new partnership that we have here on the Annie Fry Show, and it's my ability to throw the weight of my show here and this station behind Lutheran schools. As you know, I am a product of Lutheran schools. I hope that's not like a negative thing. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I went to a Lutheran school, elementary school. I graduated from a Lutheran high school, Metro East Lutheran High School in Edwardsville, Illinois. And I have in studio with me Libby Guberle and Amee Colvin. They are with the Lutheran Elementary School Association. And if you want to learn more about what we're talking about while we're talking about it, you can go to lisastl.org/Annie. And LISA is just the abbreviation for Lutheran Elementary School Association. So it's LESASTL.org/Annie. Libby and Amee, thank you so much for being in here today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Excited to have you. It is back to school time. So my son starts high school tomorrow, and he's going to the Lutheran high school. And my other kids are going to their Lutheran school that starts next week. But how is it looking right now in the Lutheran schools as far as enrollment goes? Because I do know that a lot of people are looking for alternatives to the public education that they have in their area, in their community.
Well, we've had a very good run the last number of years, increasing our enrollment in the Lutheran school system, 20% since before COVID. So I think what people are finding in our system, and half of the kids in our schools are not Lutherans. They're from other walks of life, and they're finding that safety, traditional values, teachers are willing to partner with the parents in education and willing to let their children be disciplined as necessary, but there's just a lot more partnership and more family atmosphere in the smaller classrooms.
I know this. I think I've always known this, but I'll direct this towards you, Amee. The thing that I appreciate the most as a parent who is willing to pay the tuition to send my kids to a Lutheran school, and it is incredibly more affordable than people think. It's a parochial education. It's within your reach. Maybe if you're listening right now and your grandparents have kids that you would do anything to get your grandkid out of public school, look into a Lutheran school near you because it's very more accessible than you think it is. But Amee, the idea that my kids are going to a Lutheran school that has a definitive understanding of what is right, what is wrong, when something is wrong, you address it. But there's also the element of forgiveness on the other side of that. It's the full circle. That's to me, it's like the Christian education and that understanding. I don't even really care about the math and the English. They do a great job, but what a lesson to learn, especially in these times, to be able to have that definitive understanding of right and wrong, and the most important part, the forgiveness.
Yes, I also am in a Lutheran school parent, or have been. I haven't been in a few years, but my children were there. My daughter was there through 6th grade, so she did 8 years, including preschool. My son, 6 years, including preschool. And the effect that's had on our lives and who my children are and the people that they present to the rest of the world is enormous, so especially when you compare it to their peers, the idea of forgiveness. Everybody is my friend. We're all here to do it together. And the academics are excellent. When they went into the public schools after a certain period, they were certainly prepared and ready. And the academics are excellent and on par with any kind of technologically and everything else that you get in a public school. But that character element and the themes that come with that were so critical to who I feel like my children are developing as humans.
Yes.
And I'm so thankful for the partnership that my home school, Salem Lutheran in Afton, provided for my children. I can never be thankful enough for that. And I think I was led there for a purpose and a reason. And it was the answer to my prayer, and so I'm so thankful for it. And I think that that's what so many families are seeking, because, life is complicated, school is complicated, family is complicated. And so to be able to take your values that you want as a parent and make sure that somebody's enforcing those in the school system, you just can't replicate it in a public school system. And I have that experience in both. So I know that what happens in Christian Lutheran schools is on par with what so many families want for their values.
So well said, Amee. And Libby, I think you hit on something that's really important too. And in my experience of going to a Lutheran grade school and a Lutheran high school, I went to school with Presbyterians, with Catholics, with people who didn't really have a label on their faith at all, but their parents knew that it was a good place for them to be, and they liked the moral structure of it. And my prayer was always that the Christian Lutheran aspect of it would imprint upon their heart. I think that it's a distinction, and I don't have anything against Catholic schools. I'm just not Catholic. I'm Lutheran myself. I think the distinction is that it's an alternative to the public school system, but it's a very, very welcoming environment for all people who are considering an alternative to check out.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, the Lutheran Church itself is, in many cases, full of members who are from Catholic backgrounds, who may not have wanted to be Catholic at the time, or married somebody like me who was a Presbyterian and decided to be Lutherans together as a family. So the Lutheran Church is full of a bunch of people who, and I'd say the church in general. I'm not sure there are any Baptists or Presbyterians anymore. I feel like everybody are finding congregations that they feel at home with. They're finding schools that replicate their values or what they want their children to be when they grow up.
Yeah, there's a lot of non-denominational out there that has those specific faith applications to it. But the Lutheran school system is a wonderful place to consider that alternative to public school education. You do not sacrifice quality of education in any way, shape, or form. And I say this by sending my own children there. So my evidence of supporting this is through my own tuition dollars that I pay, in addition to, of course, the property taxes I pay to support the public school system. But it's worth every penny to invest in my kids. I remember a family friend of ours was talking about her daughter at graduation and watching her daughter walk across. She went to the Lutheran high school, walk across the stage, and you're filled with emotion. That's such an emotional time, especially for a parent. And she put this long post on Facebook, and she said, if we wouldn't have chosen a Lutheran education for our child, I don't know that I would be confident right now that she's ready for the world. But she can go into a public university situation or whatever it is that comes next. And she said, as a parent, I know that I've done everything I can to prepare her for this moment when they go out into the world. And I'm okay with that right now. And I'm like, I think at the time my oldest kid was like 10. And I'm like, I'm so sad. Charlie's going to graduate in 8 years. I'm working on getting over it. He starts high school tomorrow. But there are a lot of ways that people can get into the Lutheran school system or learn about it, which is why I implore you to go to lisastl.org/Annie. And Lisa is LESASTL.org/Annie. And I know, because I hear from you all, you love it when I talk about being Lutheran. If you are somebody who has been blessed by the Lutheran schools or you have an attachment to it, there are opportunities for people to support through scholarships, donations, a big event, Brew in the Lou, that's coming up right now that helps other kids access this Lutheran education.
Yes, it sure does. And this is our 20th anniversary. We've been doing it for a long time. We've given away over $8 million in scholarships.
Wow. That's amazing. And I mean, if people go to lisastl.org/Annie, what do they get when they visit there? Like, what kind of things can they learn from the website if they're just looking for more information without having to talk to anybody quite yet?
Sure. So you get where the schools are. I think that's one of the biggest things is that people don't think there's a Lutheran school near them or it's accessible. And there are 33 elementary schools and 4 high schools in the metro area from Southern Illinois to St. Charles County. So that's the first thing is you see the map and see and see that there's one close to you. We can almost guarantee. And then you see how you could donate, and then you could see how you could attend our fun events like Brew in the Lou that help. I think the access is so important because people do, when they hear private schools or private Christian schools, they think it's not affordable. And I can tell you that our family was, not one of the wealthiest on the block by any means. And each step of the way, we found a way to make it accessible for us. And one of the ways is this was before I was an employee, obviously, but so glad to be able to get back. We were LISA scholarship recipients. And so we were able to, when our children, we got both in school and I went to work part-time and we made the threshold. And so I think that it's important to realize that it's accessible for every level of income as well as anybody who can afford it. So I think that don't ever be hesitant to check that out.
Yeah.
And tuition assistance is available, and that's a tab that they can look for on the website. That is probably we're out of the tuition cycle right now, but in January we'll revisit that.
That's
but some of
awesome.
the schools still have accessibility.
Yeah. ask the questions.
Right.
I mean, if you're looking for that alternative, if you've been thinking about it, August is upon us, and if it's been tugging at your heart and you know that you don't want to continue doing what you've been doing before and you've been waiting for something to pop up and say, well, how about this alternative? Hello, here I am. Check out this website, lisastl.org/Annie, lisastl.org/Annie, and just look. You don't even have to call anybody or talk to anybody. Just look at the website and learn more about what they're doing. And check out the Brew and the Lou tickets. You can also, I think you guys, would you still accept sponsors?
Oh, we're looking for sponsors.
For people who might want to.
We're talking about in the lobby.
All right.
We have a goal and we're almost there.
Will
Please
you guys,
come on.
Will you come back?
Yeah,
Can we
we'll-
talk more about it?
Please.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
Thank
you
you.
so much. We're going to be back in just a minute with the 2 o'clock hour. lisastl.org/Annie for the details. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Dueling rally. Simely Silicera, Fox News. Vice President Harris and running mate Minnesota Governor Tim Walz in Eau Claire, Wisconsin this hour as the latest Fox News power rankings indicate the change in the Democratic presidential nominee has shifted voters' thinking.
The latest Fox News power rankings shows a tight race with the former president leading 49 to 47%. That's a 5% increase for Harris since President Biden's disastrous debate performance with major gains among young and Hispanic voters. The states of Arizona, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin are rated as toss-ups, while Michigan leans Democrat, with Georgia and North Carolina leaning Republican. The only state to make a major shift in support for Harris was Minnesota, the home state of her running mate, Governor Tim Walz, which moves from lean D to likely D.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz. The Harris campaign says Team Harris-Walz raised $36 million in the first 24 hours since Tim Walz was announced as Harris's running mate. Republican vice presidential pick J.D. Vance also in Eau Claire and a manufacturing plant where he went after Harris for the administration's border policies.
She has been the border czar for 3.5 years, and Americans have suffered because of it. I know this community's been affected by it. I know I've seen the consequences of it personally, but the fentanyl that the Mexican drug cartels are bringing into our country, it is killing Americans by the bushels.
Vance telling supporters if he and Trump are elected, they will work to make things affordable for working families. The family of a French explorer who died in the Titan submersible implosion last year, where people were to examine the wreckage of the Titanic, has filed a more than $50 million lawsuit against OceanGate, the company that made the craft, saying the crew experienced terror and mental anguish before they were killed and accusing the sub's operator of gross negligence. America is listening to Fox News.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Our temperature's running a good 10 to 15 degrees cooler, and this is going to hang around for a while. Some clouds around this afternoon. Cooler and drier air, 82 for the high. Tonight, clear skies develop. 70s for evening plans, 64 for the low. On Thursday, sunny and 85. Friday, sunny 82. The weekend, sunny and 80 each day. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It is so hot. I mean, it's expected here at times, especially this time of year in St. Louis. But man, and when it gets this hot, I've heard the egg farmers are having a serious problem. That's just what I heard. Again, it might be true, it might not. It sounds like it probably is true that the chicken farmers are having trouble having the eggs because it's so hot. When the chickens lay the egg, it becomes a baby chick. That's hot. So I can only imagine what it is in your house. Well, I don't have to imagine. I've been in your houses when your air conditioner is not working or when it breaks. So if yours is broken or it's not cooling really good, call me, Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois, the easiest of numbers, 314-293-2600, or on the internet, bartinman.com. Now that is a Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
It's time to get your body in shape for the warm weather, and Victory Men's Health can help. Mark Cox here for my friends at Victory. They've got semaglutide for ladies and men, and all you need to do is go to victorymenshealth.com to find out more. They've got 4 convenient locations now: Sunset Hills, Wing Haven, Town and Country, and O'Fallon, Illinois. A simple blood test, and you could be on the path to losing up to 15% of your body weight. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
Ruler Foods, smart place to do your grocery shopping, unless you don't like to save money. But I like to save money every time I have the opportunity to save money, and Ruler Foods helps my family do that. I think my husband was going to Ruler Foods today to do some family grocery shopping. He might be enjoying picking up some of that Kroger 80% lean ground beef, sold in a 3-pound roll, just $3.66 a pound. Fresh pineapple or mangoes, 99 cents each. We love the produce from Ruler Foods, and we will go through quite a bit of pineapple in my house, so I hope he picks some of that up as well. You can get apples, Honeycrisp, Gala, or Red Delicious apples, $2.99 for a 3-pound bag. You can save with the 10 for $10 savings events right now at Ruler Foods as well. Kroger Big Cake 2 liters, 10 for $10. 12-ounce Bar S Franks, 10 for $10. Kroger Microwave Pizza or Banquet Dinners, 10 for $10. 64-ounce Sunny D, 10 for $10, and more. If you're looking to save on your grocery bill, and who isn't, go to Ruler Foods. Trust me on this. You'll love the store, you'll love the layout, and you will really love the savings. The details at rulerfoods.com.
Save money on your next oil change with O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get a $10 gift card after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for just $35.95. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The Focus Marines Foundation is here to help veterans transition from service to civilian life, and we're here to support them. This is Mark Cox inviting you to get involved in this month's Conservatives Care effort by visiting 971talk.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, first of all, let me just say that President Trump noticed that when he was in office, we did not have the world on fire. We did not have a war in the Middle East and a war in Europe and war threatening to break out in East Asia. President Trump was the candidate of peace and prosperity. He delivered peace all over the world. He would do it again if he was president of the United States. Now, what's going on in Israel, again, highlights the weakness of the Kamala Harris administration. Kamala Harris is a person who says she wants the war in Israel to be over with, and also that she wants to minimize civilian casualties. Well, I want those things too. Then why isn't she giving Israel the weapons it needs to minimize civilian casualties? And why isn't she giving Israel the weapons it needs to end this conflict quickly? The best thing for the United States of America is for Israel to end its war, to destroy Hamas, and then to rebuild the Abraham Accords of President Trump.
I mean, that sounds pretty sensible to me and pretty important as well. J.D. Vance today continues to have these rallies that he morphs into, all right, ask me whatever you want. And then he stands up there and he very sensibly answers each question that the reporter asks him. And when he does it, it's not bombastic. He's not trying to throw gasoline on the fire. He's just trying to get clarity out there on where the Trump-Vance ticket is on the issues, and of course how that compares to the Kamala Harris Walz version of the ticket. He said this today.
I was at the National Association of Black Journalists conference last week where President Trump made some attacks on Vice President Harris's biracial heritage. You're married to an Indian American woman. You have biracial children. How do you explain his attacks, and what is your reaction to his attacks as a father of biracial children?
Yes, sir. So I am the father of biracial children. Actually, my wife is here today, though my kids are back home with my aunt today. And look, I was not bothered at all by what President Trump said, and I didn't take it as an attack on Kamala Harris's biracial background at all. What I took it as was an attack on Kamala Harris being a chameleon. She pretends to be one thing when she's in front of one audience. She pretends to be something else when she's in front of another audience. And I think he was observing the basic foundational reality that Kamala Harris pretends to be something different depending on which audience she's speaking to.
And that's the truth. When you listen to Kamala Harris and she's in front of one audience versus another, she changes who she is, or she changes how she presents herself, what she prioritizes about herself. People call it code switching. As if that's not a new concept, but she's doing it to curry political favor. She was asked about the economy on The View, and this was her answer to these
Voters
women.
want to hear about issues affecting their lives, like the economy and the border. Should the campaign be pivoting on its messaging?
So there's no doubt that one of the first issues that anyone will think of is the issue they think of when they're at their kitchen table trying to pay their bills, which is how is the economy treating them? So there's no question whatsoever that that is an important issue, which we have been in the process of addressing, and we still need to do more.
In the process of addressing, you caused this. This is of your own making. If you're in the middle of addressing it, then I can only assume that it's going to get worse, because the way it is right now, Kamala Harris, is part of your current administration that you are a part of. So if you're saying that it's something that you're addressing or in the middle of working on, it's on you. And I think that the voters out there are realizing that.
I would not separate that from the issue of what is at stake in terms of hard democracy. And frankly,
and here we go with the democracy thing. So people are out there trying to figure out how to afford the groceries in their cart, how to fill up their gas tank, how to make the home purchase that they need so they can stop feeling like they're throwing their money away while they're renting. They want to own a home. It's a very American thing to work hard and be able to own an affordable home. They want to be able to do these things. Like I said a few days ago, they want to be able to get ahead. It's about money. But, of course, we've got to bring in the key pillar issue of the Democratic Party right now and make sure that everybody is scared that democracy is at stake.
I think most people don't think of it in the context of democracy as much as freedom. The freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body.
So, I mean, imagine this. People are going, Vice President Harris, Madam Vice President Harris, it's hard for me to afford what I need to afford to support myself and my family. It's very difficult for me to feed my family and know that I'm going to have enough money at the end of the month to pay the bills. I need to be able to move into a home that accommodates my family. I can't afford it right now. And it's a lot harder to do that now than when Donald Trump was president. And she says, don't you care about your right to choose? Isn't that the biggest middle finger to these people right now who are, honestly, there is a much broader access to abortion in a lot of places in this country. Hate to say it, because of Donald Trump. Because the actual constitutional way of addressing legislation on something like abortion isn't on the Supreme Court to create. They're not legislators. But I mean, if you're a Republican and you are pro-life and you're dealing with economic issues right now, does she care about that? If you have a different opinion on the right to choose?
No, I don't get the sense that she cares about anything unless you are kind of part of her circle. Then, yeah, I care about you, but I care about you long enough. Democrats do this a lot. I guess politicians do this in general. I care about you long enough to get your vote. I understand that you're a politician, but I don't get the sense that she has an answer to many important questions, which is why I don't really think she's giving you the middle finger so much as that she doesn't really even understand what her own position is on these issues. So she kind of defaults to these other talking points that she's more comfortable with, even though you're not asking that question at all.
She had more answer for the problem with the economy. Maybe.
The freedom to love who you love openly and with pride.
I can't afford to feed my family, but what if you turn gay? You'd be able to love them publicly and pridefully if I'm in charge.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean about her circle. Like, if you're in this circle, you're good with me. If you're not, you are not okay with me.
I want to be like, okay, what if the gay lover needs to eat a sandwich?
Well, these are real questions.
Yeah, like stay focused here.
Yes.
But she's in The View. Do they push back?
To be able to be free from gun violence.
Oh!
These are fundamental freedoms that are at stake right now. The freedom to have access to the ballot.
Freedom and family, family and freedom, freedom and family, family and freedom. They're going to push that down your face. They're going to shove it down your throat, and they're going to try to make it. It's just a way to engage the mechanism for all of the influencers who yap a lot more and scream a lot louder than the actual numbers of the masses are, to make it seem like if you're on the Republican side of the aisle and you're like, I kind of feel like we're the family interested party. I kind of feel like we're the ones who are interested in small government and freedom, even if sometimes the Republican Party doesn't reflect the small government that we're interested in. Like, still, core value, limited government, small government, championing parents' decisions to raise their kids the way they want to and send them to a Lutheran school if they want to. I mean, which of these parties is going to take the money that you spend on education, the property taxes that you spend right now, regardless of whether you're sending children into a school or not? Which of these parties thinks that you should have access to the very dollars that you have earned at your job that go to property taxes that you pay to educate a different child, that if you choose to not put your kid in that public school classroom, which really brings down the teacher-student ratio into a better thing for the whole, that if while you're paying those property taxes, while you're paying them, you're not saying I shouldn't have to pay any property taxes. You're not saying I don't want to fund public education. You're just saying, while one of the educateds is my child, maybe my money should actually go to the education of my child, and the people in the Lutheran school are doing a heck of a better job than the people in the public school, and I choose that for my kid. Which of the parties is going to support your right to use your money to educate your child the way you want them to be educated? It ain't Kamala Harris at all. And she will meet you at every one of those decisions and tell you what you should do. And if you say, no, I think I'd rather do that, she'll just tell you you're wrong.
Or ramble. She probably won't even stay on topic. That's the thing about Kamala Harris, is that with most politicians, a good leftist politician, we would say, why aren't you doing difficult interviews? You're doing all friendly interviews. Why don't you do something on, not even Fox News, why don't you try News Nation or something? Just do somebody that's not going to be...
Go with sort of based Cuomo.
Yeah, like just anything like that.
He wants to make a splash.
Yeah. You don't have to do... Like, with her, though, it's not even that she has to do... I'm not asking her to do News Nation. I'm not asking her to do Fox News. Just do interviews. You can go all in friendly territory, because this is what happens.
Every time she goes in front of The View and they're like, man, it's really hard for people to live in this economy. And she's like, abortion. That is important for people to see.
It is very important.
That
Please
she doesn't
just do
have
that.
the answers.
Go on CBS. Go on The View. Do interviews with Rachel Maddow. I don't care.
I'm not watching those.
I will watch those.
I mean, you can
I'll
do
watch
those.
them for you.
I'm not watching those.
But just do interviews, please, because she needs to be speaking to somebody. Right now, she's not speaking to anybody. She's just reading off the teleprompter like Joe Biden. She does it a little bit better because she's got about 30 years on him, but she's not saying anything.
Did you hear Tammy Bruce suggest that maybe she's got like a...
That's the first time I've thought about
thing?
that. There's a disconnect between what comes out of her mouth and what I think she wants to be saying, and that there is something there.
When I was watching just portions of her speech yesterday when they were introducing the Harris-Walz ticket, I was watching her try so hard to do the thing she's supposed to do and not do the thing she's not supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's still difficult to consume.
There are people who are trying to train her out of her natural instincts.
And that is not specific to Kamala. That is everybody who has ever run for any sort of prominent office ever. They are going to study you and repeatedly tell you about all the things about you that you are not good at and need to stop doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Kamala's are bigger, more in-your-face things that are larger problems than maybe somebody who up-talks or something like that at the end all the time.
And one of the things that Tammy Bruce kind of alluded to here, too, is that she said, and most of those people who've been telling her those things have been fired.
Yeah.
So she's not listening and she's not doing them. Although at this moment, I think they've convinced her, look, hey, if you can just do 2.5 months of nothing, you might be okay. And so far, that's what she's doing.
A lot of people in the chat are talking about Tampon Tim. He fought very hard to put tampons in the men's room. Now, I'm just going to say this for clarity so people, if you didn't, I think most of you get this. And I understand the absurdity and why people say that it's obnoxious and ridiculous. Like, why would a men's room ever need tampons? Because biological men don't need tampons, obviously. But we have to go along with the idea that women who menstruate, who identify as men, will now use the men's bathroom and may possibly need a tampon. That's why there are tampons in men's restrooms. They don't think that you, Ryan, are one day going to go, oh, really? It's that time of the month? And you're going to need one. That's not why they're in there. They're not for you, Ryan.
Let me just say, the one time that I did walk into a bathroom, I don't remember where this was, and I saw a tampon machine.
You've seen it?
In a men's bathroom, I did start to question whether or not it might be that time of the month for me. It didn't last long.
Did it make you feel things irrationally?
Yeah. I thought, uh-oh.
Did you have strong emotions
Is
that
this
made you
happening
want
to me now? Now, quickly, I realized, no, that's not possible, so I put it aside. But it did make me question that. And so I think that Tim is asking the nation. Maybe you ask yourself that question right now. Men?
Bring this up because I wanted to read on the air Natalie Winter's tweet that said tampons in the boys' bathroom is also kind of stolen valor, to be honest. And I thought, you're darn freaking right it is.
I when I saw it, I really wish I remember where it was. I thought, okay, this is a new era now.
In my mind, boys are just like, well, let's check these things out.
I mean, there is a little bit of a curiosity, but I also wanted to destroy the machine with a bat.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's
so
your
maybe
time.
I should do that.
Were you eating candy and chocolate at the same time?
I don't know that I was, but based on percentages, I probably
was.
was.
That you weren't.
There's a likelihood that he was.
I mean, I do that a lot, so I'll say yes. I love eating walking into the bathroom.
Did you have a little breakout on your face?
Hey, a big chocolate bunny. Let's head into the restroom.
Everything your wife was doing that day just seemed like the absolute wrong way to do it, and you thought, I should tell him.
No, none of that's true.
One day, you should just go to your wife and say, I'm going to treat you the way I think you act when you're in that time of the month, and then give her back what you think you get and see how that goes. I just don't think that men understand, like, it's all a joke to men, and then guys like Tim Walz come in and they're like, I got an idea. Let's put tampons in the men's room, which 99 plus out of 100 men are going to go into that bathroom and have both of those conflicting thoughts. This could be fun, and I hate this
Yes.
at the same time.
Yes.
Also, that he can get on a stage when he's the vice presidential candidate and stunt for the fact that he's for these people. And it's not about those people. It's about the idea that if you are with him, then you're loving. If you're not with him, you are a hateful, bigoted person.
And look, jokes aside, leftists who hear that typically don't go, yeah, I'm in support of that, but they do defend it by saying something along the lines of, why would we be why is it wrong to just be accepting? Because it's not acceptance that is being pushed here by somebody like Tim Walz. This is a governor of a state pushing top-down advocacy for you to now think about, maybe you should consider this. This has nothing to do with acceptance. This has everything to do with pushing a very big social agenda onto everyone.
You don't even know this. And I've never heard anyone say this or suggest this, but men wouldn't know this. I can probably count on one hand how many times I've utilized a feminine product machine in a bathroom. Nobody has a quarter on them.
I've never used one.
Here, when you go in, if you're a woman and you are in that time of the month where you need a tampon, you have it yourself. There are times when it comes up and maybe it catches you by surprise that afternoon and you might need one. Personally, this is just completely anecdotal, I don't go into the bathroom and hope that, I don't expect that. There's no expectation on my part as a been 5 times pregnant, menstruating female, that when my period starts, that I better go in the bathroom and have a tampon. There is 0.0 of me that expects that to be there, that has that expectation of that needing to be provided. So why the hell do they need to be in men's rooms? I've thought before to myself, we provide toilet paper. Like it's an understanding that when you go into a restroom, that toilet paper is going to be there. It's a necessity. And honestly, from a female perspective, so are the other things. There are options. Those are necessities, but there is no guaranteed expectation that is going to be provided to you. So what you do is you always have some with you. And you have an idea, probably, not always, of when that's going to happen. And you take care of yourself. But no, not in Minnesota for transgender men. I really wonder how many, maybe they've completely covered all of their bases here. But I really wonder if every public female restroom in Minnesota has tampons in it. Because I bet it doesn't.
That's a really good point, and you're right. I never would have thought of that.
No, I haven't until right now. But just like the idea that that's something that somebody is owed. We don't freaking do that for women, let alone menstruating men. Ugh. I identify as not right now, but menstruating man who uses the women's restroom. Tampons now.
I love talking about this topic. But then it gets a little too close to home, and I get real uncomfortable. And I'm like,
You're like, you're really not?
I don't know.
Should we go to a break?
Yeah, we should.
Should we have 3 minutes ago?
No, I like that you made that point.
Do you have a problem
with
me? Am I bothering you?
You know what?
Did I do something to upset you?
You're fine. I need to go away, not to the bathroom. I just need to go. Let you have this next segment, and I'll be right back.
So you're going to just leave me?
Ah, shoot.
I can do this all day. We'll be right back.
The car broke down. Yellow dog school bus kicking up red bus, kicking us up.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
MTV on the RCA, no AC in the vents. We were Jesus save me, blue jean baby.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Little map dots, New York to LA. We were teenage dreaming, front seat leaning, baby, come give me a kiss. Put me on the cover of the Rolling Stone, uptown, down home, American kids. Rolling up in little pink houses, making out on living room couches, blowing that smoke on Saturday night. A little messed up, but we're all right.
All right, so we just spoke with Libby and Amy with the Lutheran Elementary School Association, and the website is LESA, that's Lisa, LESA.stl.org/Annie. Go visit their website and learn about Lutheran schools in the bi-state region. They are on the Missouri side. They are on the Illinois side. I went to Lutheran schools myself, and I am so grateful to have that foundation in my life. Lutheran High School as well, Metro East Lutheran High School in Edwardsville. And it's such a blessing to be able to send my kids to a school where, as we talked about in our conversation at the end of the 1 o'clock hour, my kids have an incredible educational foundation. There is zero sacrifice. In fact, I would say even better opportunity for learning in Lutheran schools. They are safe. They are taught what is right and what is wrong, and they are held accountable for that. And the element of forgiveness is part of that conversation. If you have ever considered an alternative to the school situation in you right now for your children and grandparents, I'm looking at you. If you have ever thought about that or heard your kids talk about it and maybe they didn't think they could afford it, Lutheran education is within reach. It's more affordable than you think, and the conversation starts at LESA, that's Lisa, STL.org/Annie.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app. And never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Upgrade your family vacation with an unforgettable escape to the Palm Beaches. From outdoor adventures and laid-back beaches to thrilling family attractions and animal encounters, the Palm Beaches have something for everyone. Discover premier resorts with creative kids clubs that will keep the little ones entertained while you enjoy world-class golf and spas. We are the original, the one, the only, the Palm Beaches. Plan your trip at thepalmbeaches.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Digging without having your underground utilities marked is like driving with your eyes closed. It's dangerous and irresponsible. Before you break ground, contact Missouri 811 online or simply call 811 to request a utility locate 3 working days before starting. Missouri 811 will coordinate with the utility companies who will clearly mark their lines so you can avoid the hazards. Requesting a locate is smart, and it's the law. Safety is in your hands. Every dig, every time. This ad is brought to you by Missouri 811.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
If you use a smart speaker, you can listen to 97.1 easier than ever. Just tell it to play 97.1 FM Talk. Or download the Odyssey app for your phone and stream the station whenever, wherever. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, keeping on that note.
Which note?
If you were just listening, we're talking about, what are we calling him? Tampon Tim?
Yeah, Tampon Tim.
If a man can't communicate his true feelings, he'll do these 9 things instead.
Oh, great.
How are you at communicating feelings and emotions, Ryan? Like
Excellent.
not shut up. not like here, but in life when it really counts. Do you show your emotions before you communicate your emotions?
I am told that I wear my emotions on my sleeve.
I would agree with that.
And so if I'm ever not doing well, everybody probably knows it. I'm not very good at hiding it. And
emotions are good and bad. So are you the same on the high side?
Yeah.
You're kind of giddy.
I kind of am always in a pretty good mood, which is why I am who I am on the radio and in life. It's not much of a difference.
Are you good at communicating your emotions, Brad?
Yeah, I can communicate them. I just don't do it that often.
So does that mean you're good at it?
Well, I'm not bad at it.
Okay. Number 1, he becomes unusually quiet. Silence can be deafening, especially when it's out of character. A man who might usually be quite chatty and outgoing may become unusually quiet when he's struggling to articulate his feelings. What do you think about that?
Not me, but Brad, yes. That's why they call him silent but deadly.
Like, oh no, when he gets quiet, he's about to communicate his emotions.
Nobody accuses you of being silent.
No, I just let him
or
fly.
Deadly.
You don't become quiet? If you're mad, is it out there, Jerry? I don't even know Seinfeld. I just know the references.
I don't know. I think I probably get a little bit more internalized when I'm going through something, but I do so in a way, and I don't intend to do this, that while I'm internally processing it, everybody's like, you seem way different. I'm like, yeah, that's probably true.
Is that helpful?
Not always. I mean, sometimes you're just like, let me just get through a couple days of something, and I can't hide it. But
do you want people, if people notice that you're acting off, do you want someone to say, Brian, what's going on?
I want the people, the very closest to me, to do that. Outside of that, not really. I'd rather just kind of get through it.
Where do Brad and I fall on that?
Gosh, I don't know. I would say you guys would be on the very inside of it. So, yeah, I want you guys to ask. And ask frequently.
What about
and keep pressing.
Okay, I'm trying to do a show. What about you, Brad? Do you get quiet?
Yeah. I pull back because whatever it is that I'm feeling, I'm trying to work my way through it. Trying to figure out if it's a me problem or if it's a somebody else problem.
This says, this silence isn't intended to create distance or confusion. Instead, it's a protective measure. By staying quiet, he avoids the risk of saying the wrong thing or exposing vulnerabilities he's not ready to share.
Yeah, I don't want to make anybody mad when I shouldn't be making them mad just because I'm in a bad mood or upset or something.
Well, great. He's going through one right now.
Do you want, if that's happening, do you want people to ask you about it? Be like, wow, how did you say people say it to you? You seem different.
Yeah. Something's going on with you.
That's like when I don't wear makeup, people are like, you look tired. And I'm like, it's just my face.
It's not people. It's just I. Just me. Just I.
Do you want people to call it out or call attention to it?
No, not really.
Do you want Ryan to call attention to it?
He does anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
This is your chance to say, no, Ryan.
No, I'm going to just let him spring that trap.
Okay. Number 2, he becomes more attentive. In my own experience, I found that when I'm wrestling with my emotions, I tend to become more attentive towards other persons involved. I remember once not knowing how to express my feelings of love towards a close friend. Instead of talking about it, I found myself doing little things like remembering her favorite coffee order or texting her good morning and good night every day. Ooh.
Yikes. It's a little much. Good morning.
Yeah, this is not just about being upset. Emotions are there's a full slate of different things you can feel, obviously. If you're feeling extra emotional about something, do you become more attentive to it?
Yes, I do.
What about this show?
Oh, no, I'm pretty detached from this. I make great points, and then I just kind of walk away. Kind of like leave it.
Like a sage.
Yeah, leave it. Let people kind of taste it and smell it,
Did you
and I
ever-
leave.
Did you ever watch CSI Miami?
I never watched any of the CIA.
I think his name is Horatio. He's got red
sounds-
hair and he wears sunglasses. And the whole series is just him walking into scenes, saying something, putting his sunglasses on, and leaving.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
The Led Zeppelin hits, and he's out.
Yeah, it goes, wow! What's that song? Who Are You?
Don't get fooled again.
Yeah, we don't get fooled again by the Who.
They
call that the pigeon approach to things. You fly by, you take a dump on it, and you fly away.
This is the most foul series of comments that you've made on the show in 1 hour ever.
Foul. That's funny because I was talking about birds.
He avoids eye contact. Eye contact is an incredibly powerful form of nonverbal communication. It can convey a multitude of emotions, from love and affection to anger and discomfort. Do you ever have problems with eye contact? Don't make a joke. Just answer the question. Stop it. Just answer the gosh darn question.
Yeah, watch that.
I
that.
said what I
You said gosh darn. All right.
Well, that's because you guys can't see this listening on the radio, but I ask him this question, and there's this whole facial process that unfolds in about 3.5 seconds where he's like, they're going to love this.
Ryan's
And I can't have a conversation with my co-host on the show because it's all yuck. Yuck.
Ryan's very good at nonverbal communication.
What was the question about eye contact?
You weren't even paying attention.
I'm great at it.
I'm looking straight at you.
How do you feel about this right now?
I'm not very happy.
Guys, this is radio.
It's a staring contest, though.
It doesn't matter.
You blinked.
Don!
It's on video, too. Can we go to New York for that one? Number 4, he picks up new hobbies. When a man is unable to articulate his feelings, he might try to distract himself with new activities or hobbies. If you're really upset about something, do you need to busy yourself to get through it?
Yeah, I'm better off if I do. But I don't like picking up new hobbies. I like the old ones. I like old video games and writing a poem.
What video game? When's the last time you played a video game?
Well, I play old Nintendo games. So one of those emulators that has 1,000 games on it. I just do that.
A Nintendo Switch?
That would probably be fine, too. But I have one of those little ones that you bought at the mall for Christmas.
Okay.
For yourself.
Yeah, for myself.
Do you busy yourself, Brad?
Yeah, but it's not new hobbies. I don't look for busy work to do. I find one of, like Ryan was saying, one of his hobbies. And mine actually is gaming.
With the intention to distract?
Yeah, to stress relief.
I'm a dweller. I'm going to figure out what it is, how to get to the other side of it until I arrive at the other side. I don't need distractions. Unless it's something you can't fix.
That's what I was going to say, because a lot of those things are things that you don't really have control over, and that's why they're bothering you. Because otherwise, you'd address the problem.
Yeah, that's true. Number 5, he becomes more protective. When a man is grappling with his emotions, he might subconsciously become more protective. This isn't just about physical safety, but also about his emotional well-being. Whether it's walking you home late at night, checking up on you when you're unwell, or even defending you in a heated argument, these actions are a way of expressing care or concern. In regards to emotions that you might have towards somebody else in your life, a loved one, I've watched my dearest loved ones go through very unfair things and felt way more irrational thoughts than I would have felt if it were me.
Yeah, especially on behalf of your kids.
Why is he giggling like that?
I don't know. It seems like we maybe hit a nerve.
No. Yeah, because I know exactly what she's talking about there. The irrational feelings no. You don't get to do that. That is my, husband, my wife, whoever. You don't get to do that. And I will go off the rails and go to jail for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, without being too specific. I have wanted
my
to
way.
Yeah, you know right where I'm going. I've wanted to have a few conversations with a few people in my Ifeways life.
I'm not going to, you don't even get to respond to this. Don't respond to this for your own well-being.
I'm closing my eyes
But
and my ears.
In the movie It's a Wonderful Life, when Jimmy Stewart comes back to the house and he's all angry and he's yelling at everybody and his kids are asking him how to spell frankincense and they're playing Hark the Herald Angels Sing over and over and over again, and he finds out that Zuzu has a fever and that Zuzu got sent home from school and didn't button up her coat. And so he calls Zuzu's teacher and reams Zuzu's teacher for being like a terrible teacher and awful. And then the husband of the teacher calls Jimmy Stewart back and threatens him and all that, and don't respond. I'm just saying that's a thing that happened in the movies. Number 6, he listens more intently. Listening is an art, and when a man is unable to express his feelings, he may become a better artist. I think that this is kind of something that goes along with being quiet. Like if you spend more time listening than talking. Do you ever do that?
Yeah, I think I'm doing it right now.
See, we're doing this again. We're back. We're right back to where we started.
Listening is an art. Yes. That is maybe the first and greatest lesson that you learn when you get married. Is
how many years does it take?
It's not fast, because your instinct, and it's a good instinct, is to want to step in, to fix. To talk, to whatever. You want to get it done, and you're doing it with the best intentions possible. And
that's the hard thing for women to understand, because that's how men are. Men are fixers. I have a tendency to do that, I think, more than most females do. I just want to fix the problem because I want to get past the problem. And it might seem dismissive of the emotions that exist in that moment, because you're like, oh, you just want to fix this and move on? Like, don't you care about my feelings?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot there, but you do have to give the other person in the situation the moment of time to be heard.
Yep.
Do you have Katie's not listening, is she?
Nope.
Do you have like a fake affirmative, compassionate head nod?
If I do, it's subconscious, because there are times where, and I like that she does this. She wants to tell me about her day at the end of the day. And I'm glad that she does, because otherwise I'm like, well, I want to feel like you care, and you want to get this stuff out. So I will listen, but there are certain things that I know this has no bearing on my life. It has no bearing on tomorrow.
You're only there for the sake of letting her say it.
Yeah, and I completely understand that. It's completely fine. So I probably do have some nonverbal things that I'm doing the whole time that I'm like, yes, I'm listening, but I'm not fully engaged. The problem is that if I show that I'm not fully engaged, that she knows it.
Does she say something?
And then she'll kind of back away. Not to be mean, but she'll just kind of, she knows I've not fully engaged in the conversation. And she'll do the same to me, and it does drive me crazy when she does.
Do you regale her with wonderful stories from your work day with us?
I do. But they're fantastical.
She's probably like, I'll just listen to the podcast.
I always start with, Katie, today we enlightened the people.
Meanwhile, she's educating the youth of America with actual
and she's
things.
Like, wow. And she's just fascinated by that. But I've always overused it.
I haven't mentioned this recently, but we are all married to school teachers.
Yes.
So anytime it seems like we're going in a little extra hard on teachers, it's because we love them. The mostest.
We do.
There's a couple more on this list. We need to take a break. I'll get to them when we come back. More ways that men handle emotions and feelings and what they do if they're struggling to communicate them. Check your notes and see if you compare to these the same way Brad and Ryan do. Quick break, and we'll get the results of the poll. Grade the Missouri primary elections. That's on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Leave a comment. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
The Retirement Advisory Group was so great to get together with the crew from the Retirement Advisory Group last night. Packed room at their event, and it was a bunch of people just like you who have been hearing me talk about Thomas Helbig and Bob and Tammy Kershaw and the wonderful work that they do at the Retirement Advisory Group to make sure that your retirement is, in fact, worry-free. That you don't have to worry that when you make that transition, that actual final leap into retirement, that it's, I don't really know what's going to happen. I don't know what kind of income I'm going to have. Am I going to be able to afford what I want to do? Get your personalized structured income retirement plan from the folks at the Retirement Advisory Group, and don't worry about it. 314-993-9494. That's the number you can call right now. And if you didn't get to come last night or to one of our previous events, you too can have a free sit-down conversation with the folks at the Retirement Advisory Group and hear what they have to say. And then you can make a decision as to whether or not you're going to sign up and use their services. I think you probably will. 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
St. Louis City SC is advancing onto the knockout stage of Leagues Cup 2024. Get ready to cheer on City SC as they take on the Portland Timbers this Friday, August 9th at City Park. Tickets are on sale now at SeatGeek.com starting at just $25. Leagues Cup, 3 countries, 2 leagues, 1 champion.
I can see clearly now thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and introducing Samuel Berry. You can too. Call 314-966-5000 or check out youridoc.com. That's youridoc.com.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, St. Louis, are you in search of top-notch cybersecurity solutions? Look no further. ThrottleNet is here to help. Ransomware attacks are on the rise, putting businesses like yours at risk. Don't let cyber criminals jeopardize your hard-earned success. ThrottleNet provides comprehensive cybersecurity services tailored specifically to your unique needs. Our award-winning customer service provides 24/7 protection to keep your data safe and secure. Take charge of your digital security today. Protect your business, protect your future. ThrottleNet.com, your reliable partner in cybersecurity.
The YouTube live chat poll of the day has to do with the Missouri primary. What did you think of it? What did you grade the Missouri primary? Is it an A, B, C, D, or F? Those are your 4 choices. We only get 4. Otherwise, we give you A, B, and C. But B and C are 1. It is 2:50 right now. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon, post-primary Wednesday, and we are loaded up. I have Andrew Bailey this afternoon, Mike Kehoe, Selena Zito at 325 from Pennsylvania to weigh in on the Veep pick, our farewell to Cori Bush. We have to give her a warm send-off, and a whole lot more. It all starts after Fox News at 3.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. So we were talking about, before we wrap up this poll about the Missouri primary, Ryan was just talking to you about, we were talking about ways that men express their emotions or maybe don't express their emotions. I think that this is one of the topics that a lot of times gets talked about in, you know, if you're discussing toxic masculinity, the idea that you should be more expressive of your emotions, that you should be more willing to like sit down and talk about it. I think it was even talked about in that white dudes for Harris, for Kamala video, there was something like the thought that we could sit down as white men and talk about our feelings and support. And I'm like, to me, it's not so much that you're talking about it, it's that you're talking about it.
Yeah.
Like, do you need a hug?
I don't know.
It's incredibly off-putting to me.
It's just when a bunch of Hollywood stars get together to support Kamala Harris and then they lead with things like that. I don't know. It doesn't make me want to watch those movies as much. I like some of those actors, but they drive me crazy.
I'm a big fan of detaching. Like, I don't want to know what Ben Stiller says about anything. I still want to watch Night at the Museum.
Exactly. You're like, just leave me alone. I like you. Based on what you've done, you've made me like you because your characters are fun.
Yeah.
I don't need anything else.
Hit the pause button there.
Yeah, just do that.
Regarding emotions and how men communicate them, the last two on this list are he starts to withdraw or he gets defensive. Are you one to withdraw or get defensive?
Yeah. I think both of those probably. Withdraw is the easiest one to do. And then get defensive if I have to talk about it and it's something I don't want to talk about.
I don't get defensive, but I think that withdrawing goes along with that getting quiet kind of thing.
The quiet is withdrawal. I think withdrawal may be the extra step of being quiet. Like momentarily, you're thinking, I don't really want to talk about this and I'm not really in a good mood. And then after that, you're like, I don't even want to ever talk about it again. So you kind of pull back from something like that. Do you think that men could do a better job of communicating emotion?
That's a tough question because we talk about this stuff so much in our modern society that you almost, the pendulum is kind of like, it's not even swinging both ways. It's like, I don't know which way it's swinging. Like, it's not just swinging left, right, and it's gone too far one direction. It's like it's swinging in 3D. I don't even, it's all over the place.
I don't know that it helps anything. I don't, like, I've communicated emotions, I've expressed emotions. I don't know that it's ever made a difference in whatever I was feeling.
But good communication does help. And if you can kind of
Communication, for
identify
sure.
something and say, look, this is the problem, that's great.
Isn't it important to communicate your emotions about something, especially if we're talking like across genders? But I mean, what even is that? If you're talking to somebody, a female specifically, like if somebody can understand your emotions about something, they might be more willing to accept your perspective if they understand how you're feeling about it. Like the feelings and the emotions around something give you more context.
I think what drives me crazy in the communication about these things is having to admit, especially to somebody like my wife, that I have a flaw. I mean, that sounds stupid.
I think that's very relatable for most men.
It's so annoying because I just want to be like, I'm not a problem. I am the one who fixes the problems. Don't focus on me. Let's focus on fixing the problems. And if I'm the source of a problem, it drives me nuts.
And because I know your wife and she's amazing and my best friend, if I would assume that when you're having these conversations, you are projecting on yourself more that she's seeing you as inadequate than she's feeling about you being inadequate at all. That you're really just trying to solve a specific problem.
Yeah.
And you're feeling it like it's inadequacy. And she's not at all intending to make you feel that way. You're wrapped up in the inadequate feelings, and she's trying to convey something else, so it kind of becomes a blockade.
Yeah. Yes.
Your wife, she thinks you're great. If anybody is entertained by Ryan Wiggins, it's Mrs. Wiggins, and it's exactly as it should be. That's a very good thing.
That's true.
Grade the Missouri primary results. Grade them, Ryan, quickly.
I give it a BC.
Brad, what do you think?
I voted an A. I thought it was a good time.
Okay. Well, 3% of y'all said F. 5% said D, 22% gave it an A, and 69% gave it a B/C. So 92% pretty satisfied with the Missouri primary yesterday. Thank you for voting. We'll have another poll for you tomorrow. And up next, the guy who basically worked all day is back once again. Mark Reardon takes over from here. Don't go away.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
If you're thinking of selling your home, I'm sure there are two things you want: certainty and the most money, right? Hi, it's Mark Cox, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know the only agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first and only call when looking for an agent. Gloria doesn't make empty promises. No, she provides written guarantees. Now, what does this mean for you? Certainty. Now, certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she'll buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Air Comfort Service, you find them online at aircomfortservice.com. It's going to be fall here pretty soon. You need to be ready for that. Air Comfort Service is excited to make sure that you are comfortable and safe in your home. And they always do a little extra to make sure that they give you the best service in the HVAC business. If you are in the market for a new air conditioner or HVAC system, they're the company that you want to install your new HVAC equipment. I had them install an air conditioner, a furnace, water heater. They also did the AeroSeal duct sealing on my home, and I have rave reviews personally from my personal experience of being a customer of Air Comfort Service. Not only do they do impeccable work, but they also include, with the new HVAC system installations, for free, a year of maintenance and a free home safety package worth almost $800. If you're interested in reaching out to Air Comfort Service for your HVAC needs, make sure you call them at 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091. Hit them up at aircomfortservice.com.
If you have a problem with the IRS, believe me, it's not going away on its own. The IRS never gives up. They have endless resources, so they control the game. Well, your tax problems can end. I'm attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm, a local tax resolution firm with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. I've handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years. So when you hire me, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some TV pitchman that's riddled with consumer